Welcome back to Souls and Swords. I can't even talk. Welcome back to Souls and Swords, session number 10, entitled Sun's Eclipse. Last session, some things happened. I'm going to be starting the session today with a bit of a flashback, and then we'll be moving into the story therein. An age ago, a very large skirmish broke out in the city of Jernars, far to the west of Rostagar. This skirmish was led by an individual known as the Scion of the Conglomerate, and he led a group of mercenaries, mostly drow mind speakers, out into the city of Old Heisrick, and his intent was to destroy the Guild of Malabranch, a guild of heroes assembled by a Githzerai artificer who wanted to bring about a semblance of order and balance to the world, as it was something he was very aware of in the world that he came from, the world that he was born from. One of those heroes of that guild was an individual named Colgar Blazehatchet. During that conflict, Colgar was very fortunate, not running into one of the mind speakers directly, not dealing with any of the higher members of the conglomerate. Less fortunate members of the guild had their own arrows pulled from their quivers to impale them and pin them to walls. Others were ripped asunder by townsfolk who they once protected. It was a horrific scene through and through. Colgar helped two individuals escape the city, two individuals he'd been traveling with in the guild for a long time. A young drow elf named Wenbiron, and a autumn elf named Elumroth. He helped them escape the city, and was filled with fury up until the point that they made it out of the city. He realized, as they fled, that he could continue on with them, and the rage that was building up in his heart up until this point would continue to fester, and he'd have no recourse but to fight and fight and fight. Or he could turn around, go back into the city, and fight right now. Kill every single one of them that he could get his hands on, and lay his axes upon. But as he sat there in between these two options, he realized that neither option would change a thing. The conglomerate had won that day. Not only had they won that day, they possibly have won hundreds of years thereafter. So he laid down his axes, and he desired to give himself over to the conglomerate as a prisoner, in hopes that they would spare him, show him mercy, and in hopes that he would be able to speak with the leader in an honorable fashion. In truth, that day, a bit of his kingly blood came out, the true spirit of Durgaden, the temperance found in the forge. Unfortunately, his opponents were nothing more than pawns, and they had been ordered to kill anyone who stood in their way. The dwarf's weapons on the ground, his body filled with the blades and arrows of the drow, of the renegades, of the mercenaries that fought for the conglomerate that day. His soul slipped from him, and an ancient magic welled up from that place, binding him eternally to the axe named Fury left on the ground. Until one day a choice was made. The rage was rekindled with a fire ignited hot and sparked that black powder that sent that round through the spirit of Colgar Blazehatchet, empowered by his gift of temperance. There, in the prisons underneath Alderac, shortly after, sits Roxgar, Kulgar's descendant, imprisoned for the crime of murder in the royal cells underneath the manor hall. He's had one visitor. It wasn't exactly a great conversation, a bit one-sided. But now a second visitor comes down into the depths to speak with him. It appears to be the captain of the guard, Mallard. He steps forward into the light, holding a candle, no accompaniments, and he looks to the dwarf. King Blaze Hatchet, we understand that you have committed the crime of murder on one of the guests of the king. As it is your station, your royal blood, we offer you your own choice of counsel. Is there anyone that should be allowed access to the cells to speak with you regarding your legal defense?
Courier would sigh heavily.
For Sam. Kidding.
Lord Gilbert Kurgot.
As you have elected a member of the nobility as your ward and council, it falls upon him to keep you detained in his estates. The Yellow Caps will see you off the premises of Alderac, as we have a very important event coming in the next 6 days. And we would rather not have the soiling of that event by the trial. And we would like very much so that these cells are left open. He says that as he looks over to the other cell that you saw the man with the stone fist sitting in. I will make sure that Lord Gilbert and his accompaniment are sent here to recover you. And with that, I bid you a good night. You should be promptly recovered, hopefully no later than by the morning.
One question, Mallard, before you go. When will the trial take place after the wedding?
That will be determined by your council. That will be determined by the members of the ones who are prosecuting you and pressing charges regarding your criminal offense. This will most likely be dealt with by my understudies, as I do not believe any member of the contingent that arrived with the Duchess has made forth any desires to hold you accountable for the murder. Although common witnesses will state that you were the one responsible, as well as our own guards.
I don't deny what I appreciate it.
I will.
And good fortune to the good king. And bless his way.
I will speak informally. I understand you to be a man of honor and duty, and a bit of pride in your family and your people. So it must have been something great that weighed heavily upon you to take that action, that reckless action. So I bid you good fortune, and may Saint Averiu shine upon you with his blessing. He leaves. A messenger is sent out to House Kurgosler. I believe Lord Kurgosler is there. Is that accurate?
I believe so, yeah. After he was detained, I think we just went back to my place, or at least I did.
I think Ren and Valette were opting not to do that, and they went back to the conglomerate place, were held for a little while because there was nothing that they could do, and then kind of decided to head back to Ren's office during the course of the evening. And I believe Vrak went with Gilbert? No, he went with Ren and Valette. Or did he go with Sam?
I'm pretty sure that he went with Ren and Valette.
That's right. And then Sam went with.
Himself.
That's right. He went back.
Yeah,
To his own.
I went with Ren and Valette, but I don't think I'd go back to his office with them. I'd probably go back to Gilbert's
Okay.
from there,
Good enough.
just to check, see if they've got any news from Rockscar, because our time at the conglomerate was bunk.
Okay.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I was trying to contact Ren and Valette because of the sky and trying to meet up with them again.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think we did agree that we should meet up at Gilbert's place, though.
I
But
think
don't
that's
I'm
right.
there yet. I don't think I'm there yet.
Well, it'll be later in the evening once that happens. Gilbert, what you'll kind of retrieve as you kind of get settled into your estate is that the letter that you received inviting you to Alderac regarding this initial meeting, looking at the letter, you note that it's a final notice. It appears that multiple notices have come before it, but you don't have those letters anywhere that to your knowledge. And it appears this is the last opportunity. This was the last opportunity for you to RSVP for the wedding.
And we missed it.
It would
Man,
appear
I know,
so.
I was bummed. I was bummed.
We missed it.
Well, you guys didn't know it, but you might have came along as my guests.
Well, yeah, but we weren't the one answering the letters.
I know, it was me.
At this,
All right, there's more pressing matters
well,
right now.
sorry, one last thing. At this time, you cannot sense or detect the Rhine Witch anywhere in the estate.
That's not good. Then I think what I would try to do is find out where she is. Try to sense her.
You presume, based on the kind of tether, that she's just remaining inside of the razor.
All right, good. I want to have that razor on me at all times.
Okay. You go and you recover it, because...
I recover it, right? Because I left last time without specifically saying so, and so I didn't have it. But yeah, I definitely have to have that with me.
Okay.
And then what I will do is I was trying to get together like what I thought would be the things that were going to be pivotal for Brox's case, which, as I remember from last time, was his artifact, which was the blaze hatchet to prove he's a blaze hatchet.
Mm-hmm.
Also, a document that proves his lineage, which I think we have because was it Resicant had a document that
Correct.
maybe we can get.
That was on
And then I don't
Broxgar's
remember-
person. So it's probably where he was kind of staying in the your house, in his corner in the library.
Excellent. And I would look for that because I want to make sure that doesn't disappear.
Okay.
And then, was that it? Were those the only two things we needed, or was there a third thing?
Not that I can think of.
That's it. Yeah, that's it that I can.
I think that was it. So that sounds good. So, yeah, and I guess I would sit upon my throne and ponder the world.
You'd also probably think, like, those two articles are fine and might do you quite a bit of service in your defense, but you're also aware that legal recourses are going to require knowledge of the law at hand in this specific regard. And you have a decent amount of law books in your estate as a clerk. Wellenbar was very keen on keeping such things at hand. So if you wanted to, you could start studying now as well the law and trying to figure out what might be something you'd want to use as a defense in this regard.
No!
I would, but I'm trying to I wonder if anything that I have as abilities would help with this. Like
So-
court functionary, maybe?
Court functionary is going to help you once we get to court time. For now, it's just going to be a intelligence history check for you to kind of just study a bit.
So, I've got a question. Are we going to go through things like, discovery and like all of that paperwork and, the
Potentially.
normal
Yeah.
court stuff?
Potentially.
We have to put a list of all of our witnesses.
Depositions.
Yeah. Hey, now I have a question for you, John. As a court functionary, would I know, like, can we bring as a witness the person who was shot? Like, can we speak to dead and bring him as a witness?
So you would know that that is an option. That is something that you can do. But at this time, the body, to your knowledge, isn't something you have at your. I mean, it's not available to you at this time.
I would like to put together some documents that stated like who I would want for witnesses, and especially him. And what I would say was it was because of the heinous crimes he had committed against my client, King Blaze Hatchet, that he was his judgment was rendered upon him, or whatever, something like that, and
Of course.
send it out so that they can get me that body.
Okay. Yeah, and go ahead and just
That's
make
important.
intelligence history check as a baseline for your initial studying, and then that's.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. I rolled a net, but listen, I rolled a nat 1, but I have inspiration, so I'm gonna. Can I keep the 16?
Yeah, you can
Which
use
is
the
better.
inspiration on this. That's fine.
Well, I would definitely use it because this is my buddy.
Okay. So great.
Of course.
Who was the one that was heading direct? It would have been Rack from the sounds of it. He would have been the one that's kind of the first to head to.
Yeah. I would have
Probably.
probably been the first person to get there.
Okay. So as you arrive on the estates, I mean, his royal guard detains you at the front and stops you. Halt. We must make sure that the Lord is willing to receive you. It seems that other members of the heroes of Kurgosler have gone astray. Bear with us. And one of them kind of rushes off into the house. As you're sitting there poring over papers, one of the royal guards steps in and says, "My Lord Kurgosler, the one known as Vrak, has arrived at the estate. Shall he be allowed entrance into the estate, or no?"
Oh, of course, he is a hero of Kurgosler.
No, he is not one of the
So-
vagrants.
Oh, you know what? I think in the end they're gonna come back to me anyways. I'm thinking this trial of my buddy Blaze Hatchet will bring us all together, and they'll realize that they need to come back here. So I have hope in that. So yes, let Brack in.
You hear this whisper as the royal guard turns away. They will need you. You're right. The royal guard comes back out to you, Vrak. My Lord Kurgosler has confirmed that you are a retaining member of the heroes of Kurgosler and would welcome you into the estate.
Vrak kind of lets out a low kind of growl. Not really happy about that, but I'm not going to fight it right now because, God, I think it's new. But God.
Don't fight
God.
it, man. Don't fight it.
So I don't know if Vrak actually saw the damage that was done to the house during the conflict between Gilbert and the Urumi, but it does appear that all of it has been repaired. So when you enter into the house, the attendant there will lead you back to Gilbert's office on the first floor, and he's poring over papers at his desk.
Hey, Blue Brother, you, any news on the little bearded brother?
Not yet, but I am already putting together a defense, and I think it actually looks pretty promising. So, if the hatchet doesn't fit, you must acquit. No, I'm just joking. I'm not going to say that in court, but
Okay,
Broxgar is a dwarf, and dwarves
dwarves' hands are much
The
smaller.
big problem.
dwarves are from
This is gonna be
Stormloft.
Oh, there you go.
Huh.
Oh boy. So, anyways, I digress. But it's great to see you, Brack. Actually, I don't think you saw my place when it was wrecked. I think the only ones who saw it were Valette and Ren. But this whole wall, I point to the wall. That wall was blown out. It was horrible. But we got it fixed right away. So good news.
I don't care.
It's okay. Hey, I know what you do care about, though. We have some great food here. Bacon. I know you like bacon from breakfast this morning. We got some of that, and then we can make you some food. I know that a big, strong guy like you is probably hungry. So let me get you some food, and then make yourself at home. This is your home, So make yourself at home. Then I get back to my
Vrak
work.
gives him a look like, is the gnome hitting on me?
I don't even see it because I'm too busy working.
Meanwhile,
All right, I'll go get food for one of the servants.
okay. Meanwhile, Sam, you arrive at about the same time as.
Well-
Go ahead.
Okay, never mind. Keep going.
I was going to say you arrive about the same time as a messenger. The messenger appears to be
Okay.
wearing a bright yellow cape with a bear insignia. He appears to be a royal messenger, and he's walking up to the doors of House Kurgosler. Do you want to intercept
okay.
him or let that happen?
So 1 second, really quickly, because Andy was just messaging me on the side that he was thinking he was going to have Ren contact me and have us meet somewhere not in Kurgosler's place
Okay.
first.
Then I'm gonna
so
cut-
we're probably going to rendezvous somewhere else first.
Okay, I'm going to cut to Ren then. Ren, you, with the assistance of Valette, are able to do that thing that you said you wanted to do in the side chat.
Yep.
Strange that all these secret messages are coming from the guy who's got the betrayer, Esper.
Uh-oh, burn.
Better watch out, everybody. Watch your bags. But Valette will actually part company with you after you sell the itemry, and will kind of move along about her way. She says to you, I don't think I'm ready to go back to Lord Kurgosler's house yet. I will see what I can't do to find accommodations at the tower.
I know, it probably hurts too much, I understand.
Also, my
Very traumatic.
players in here right now, and it's really hard for me to be anywhere. Okay, bye.
Okay. Yeah, so then Ren would meet up with Sam at some point on the road to House Kurgosler.
Okay.
And I don't think they're... Go ahead.
Any particular type of establishment, or just somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't matter.
But we can even meet on the road itself as we're walking too, you know.
Okay.
Sort of intercept each other and just go together.
Okay.
What are you guys gonna say?
I don't know.
We'd give each other knowing looks. We don't need to exchange any...
You mean like the ones Bracket was giving me?
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what Sam would do. Give you a knowing look.
A knowing look. Can you do that? What does that look like?
I'm doing it right now. How are you not seeing it?
Okay.
It's so knowing.
So, since the two of you are kind of coming together, and based on positioning, would kind of meet south of House Kurgosler or north of House Kurgosler, and kind of make your way to it, the two of you will kind of come about the same route, and you would find that House Kurgosler has a messenger approaching it, as I described before. Do you wish to try to detain the messenger, or are you just allowing him to enter first?
I mean, were we trying to talk about something in specific before we went in? Because if so, we should probably not intercept the messenger unless you want to.
I'm not interested in intercepting the messenger. Let him do
Yeah.
what he needs to do.
Sam, don't give no shit about messengers.
Okay. The messenger is received by the royal company outside and is basically charged to allow entrance. The individual walks straight across the way, right up to your door, opens it themselves, walks into your house, walks into your office, throws a parchment onto the table right in front of everything you're doing, by order of the King's Guard and leader of the watch, Mallard. Good day. Steps out the door.
Hey, wait a
doesn't
minute.
answer
I'm
your
gonna
call.
try to pull shit on this guy. I'm like,
Doesn't answer your response.
bring that right to me. Oh man, these dang King's people,
Doesn't say
these
a
messengers.
damn thing to you. Just leaves.
What is your name?
Vanity.
Nothing.
Man, this is disgusting. I can't believe he was treating me like this. All right, I would actually get up and go grab it because I realize it's probably a very important message. If it's, from
Yeah.
the king, probably has to do with my buddy Brox.
By decree of King Blaze Hatchet, and by allowance of Captain Mallard Brighton, Lord King Blaze Hatchet is your prisoner, and you are his counsel. He is to be recovered from the cells beneath Aldereg by you, and a retinue of no larger than 5 individuals at a time of discretion, and you would know that that terminology means before 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. and after 10 p.m. So at some point in the third shift time, and recover him and bring him to your estates and hold him on the premises. Signed, Malik Brighton.
I think probably my heart would grow 2 sizes. And no, though, but I would feel like my heart would warm because I'd be like, this is a great sign. It means they recognize his nobility.
It seems that the letter specifically denotes that Blaze Hatchet was the one who elected you as their council.
Which makes it even better. All right, this is great. And so
Gotta be
I
you,
would,
Gilbert.
I would yell right out, real loud. I'd be like, Brack, are you there? Are you within shouting distance?
What?
You must come here immediately. I have the best news. Well, it's
Ah!
good news anyways.
I can hear you from here. God, jeez.
Yes, but you must come. Trust me. You must come. You're gonna want to hear this. Face
I
to
can
face.
hear it again when the other 3 get here. Come on.
It's true you are, but I have to tell somebody. So then basically I would like, my little legs would carry me right over to meet up with them. I don't know if
And
he's headed towards me. But...
You would go to the kitchen entirely where he is sitting in front of a plate that seems to be stacked with the bacon that was left over from breakfast service, and a bunch of other foods that have been basically rationed out by the kitchen by his own half-orc hands. And to describe a bit more about how you're making those sounds.
So when I got there, I won't take long, Vrack. Listen to this. I just got a message from the Kingsguard, and basically Brox has been released to be imprisoned at my manor. Like, basically he's on house arrest, but at my manor. And that's great, right? And we need to go get him. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the gang back together because I think we need to be solid and there together to show him that we care about him. So we'll all go, Kurgosler's heroes, but this is about Broxgar, so we won't bring that up. But anyways, we'll all head in there, and we have to go at the third shift, so it'll be like late at night, and we'll go grab him, and it'll be, it'll give him hope, and it'll be great. And you go back to eating.
It's probably close to about 8.
So as Ren and Sam get close to the house, Ren is going to want to sort of not enter in immediately because he doesn't know if he'd be welcome.
The messenger exits just as you're kind of coming up, and then you see the Royal Guard kind of move in a defensive posture as if they are definitely signing that you are not currently welcome in the house.
Right. So I turn to Sam and say, I don't think this necessarily, it's about you. It's more about me. So I'm just going to wait here, and maybe you can smooth the way or whatever.
Did Matt hear that? Or did
Don't know.
Sam hear that?
I don't know if he's there.
Sorry, I had myself muted.
That'll happen.
So, you want me to go up over there to that... It's a King's Guard standing there, right?
No, it's the Royal Guard, the Prince's Royal Guard that was left by the Barbagezi Prince for Lord Kurgosler.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to go over there and start talking to that guy. I don't really know anything about what's going on here, nor do I really feel like getting too, intertwined into whatever craziness Gilbert's up to right now.
Well, then, if you intend to go into the house, you can go by yourself, and if he asks where I am, you can tell him where I am. That doesn't really demand very much.
Yeah, so I have another idea. I just take out my communicator and I start trying to dial up Gilbert.
It rings. Gilbert, your phone rings. Or your communicator rings.
Aha, this could be one of the heroes right now. And I get it and kind of walk out, like kind of leave Vrack to his food. So I'm walking out. Hello.
Hey, moron.
Sorry, you must have the wrong number. And I hang up.
Okay.
And I say, that was probably Sam. He'll
I
call back.
instantly call back.
Hello? This is
Hey.
Lord Kragosler.
Hey, fucking moron.
Hey, come on, watch it, Sam. What's your problem?
Listen, there's a guard out here that doesn't seem to want to let us in.
Oh,
So I am
yes.
just calling. If you want us to come in there, come out here and get us yourself.
Oh, yes, I have some important news to tell you. So tell Ren I have some important news to tell him, and tell Valette that too.
He's standing right here. I think he can hear me. Or, you, on this
Oh.
thing.
Okay, great. I'm coming out. And so then I would hang up and then walk out. And when I got to him, I'd be like, okay, guards, let them through. They're okay. They're coming in with me.
Fair enough, my lord. We weren't barring them. If they had approached, we would have welcomed them in.
I think they probably feel guilty, but, that's their own prison and their own punishment.
This is
Jackass.
This
What a
is
jackass.
Laugh.
this is a goddamn treasure.
But
So-
in my inside, I'm laughing.
John, this is where I cast Fireball
If that's
right
a,
on Lord Kragosler.
if that's a real thing, let me know.
It's not.
Okay.
I just
Did I
want
hear
to.
that?
No. He was outside. You were
You
standing.
All right.
So once you guys get inside the house, I'd be like, "Oh, Ren, check out the spot that was blown out before by my battle
Completely
with
fixed.
Urami. It's been fixed, so pretty cool, huh?" And then
But it wasn't cool, Gilbert. She died.
well, sometimes when you get into single combat with somebody, one person comes out alive and one person dies. But let's not talk about that now. I have very important news to say.
You
And
you
then
hear a whisper in the back of your head, Gilbert. The better one wins.
Yes. So I take him into where Brack is sitting there eating, and then I don't even interrupt Brack, and I just say, "All right, guys. Actually, by the way, where is Valette? She should be here." I look directly at Ren when I say that.
Oh,
I know this is tight.
Valette didn't feel up to coming and wasn't able to make it.
I thought we had patched things up.
She didn't sound like herself, let's just say.
No. She did say she was sorry for what had happened, so that's why I thought we had patched things
Tim,
up.
if you're watching this, that one was for you. It's a good one. She didn't
So,
sound like
I would say-
herself.
Yeah. Ren, just let her know next time you talk to her that, everything's okay between us. And well, actually, we need to get her. So this is what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to call her up because listen to this great news. Broxgar has been released from the King's jail, and he is now going to be in house arrest at my manor. And that's great because, then we can all see him and help him, get through this, what he needs to do. And I think I have a good defense for him all worked up. And the best part is I am his, I'm going to be his defense lawyer, and, so that's great news, right? What do you guys do? What's your reaction?
What's my reaction?
Yeah.
I don't. Ren doesn't say anything, but he looks to Gilbert's side. Does he see that different sword?
The sword is at his belt.
Not his original sword, not Grainbeak, right?
Cranebeak was a pick.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's the razor. He sees the razor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Ren looks at the razor, looks back at Gilbert, and says, "Mm-hmm."
All right. What about you, Sam? What do you think?
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Oh, you are always a joker, Sam. But anyways, so we need to go pick up Brock. I think sooner the better.
Real-
we don't want to let him languish in jail.
Real quick,
Right, have fun with that.
Since this is super exciting, I'm assuming that you're going to requisition people who are going to come with you, people who are not, etc. That's fine. We'll deal with the who's going, who's not in a bit. That's all right. I'm going to cut back to the jail cell, though. You're sitting there, alone, in the dark, in the cell, and you hear kind of a clicking. Sounds like stone on metal. It's kind of
Look up.
annoying.
I look up and around.
Yeah, you're pretty sure it's coming from that other cell.
Hey, quiet down over there.
Blaze hatchet, huh?
What's it to you?
I've slit one of your throats before.
Dead silence from me.
I remember a time when you ruled the North, when the Colbeards were subservient to those most wild.
How long ago was that? That was a while ago.
That was in the Third Age. This is the Fifth Age. That's thousands of years ago.
Yeah. I just, but, like, that's bullshit.
So interesting that a group of proud dwarves like yourself were cast out of your mountain by a bunch of fiery salamanders. So what are you in for? Murder? Me too.
It's only temporary. I was enacting justice.
Me too. They just didn't agree that that was the case. Probably because I was killing their king.
Who's... He's talking about Amfred?
Sounds like it.
The Deceiver?
He stands up, kind of walks over to the bars, and looks over at you. He's wearing roguish-looking attire. His leathers have been stripped off of him, but the clothing that he's wearing is kind of loose, kind of a dark navy color. On his left hand, he has a very massive stone gauntlet. It looks like an elemental's hand has been affixed to his hand. Couple of scars on his face. Short, military kind of cropped hair. Well cut. A little long. Looks like he might have been down here for a while. But human. Doesn't look like he's more than 30 years old. You claim to be the king?
Aye.
That's why I killed the blaze hatchet I did. Same purpose. They also claimed to be the king. A couple of other blaze hatchets didn't agree. A lot of squabbling amongst your clan. Except for the ones who keep their mouths shut and do what they're supposed to do. The ones who aren't subservient. The ones who build, the ones who craft, the ones who fight. Are you any of those? Or are you one of the political ones?
I'm not so much the political type. I'm more the crafter. Lately, if for necessity, I've just taken on the role.
You look like a scrawny whelp.
Oh, Durgaden's blood flows through me. Well, I promise you that. I'm a master.
Fair enough. So do you want to get out of here? Or do you want to stay here and wait for your friends?
I think I'll stay. Thanks.
Fair enough. I guess I will too. But if you wanted to leave, he says, as he kind of squats down to a kneel and places his hand on the ground. As he does so, you see in the center between the two of you, a tunnel just appear. We could leave any time we wanted. He lifts his hand off the ground. The tunnel vanishes.
No, thanks. That's all right. I've grown quite comfortable.
Fair enough. He returns back to the shadows in his cell. Still sounds like he's in earshot. He could probably hear you if you asked him a question. But it does seem he's stopped tapping.
I'll kill you, you know.
Oh, will you?
Aye.
I can make it possible for you to try right now if you'd like. I have no reason to kill you. No one's paid me to. But I suppose if you wanted to be embarrassed. He returns back to the bars with a grin. You don't know who I am, do you? Not even the singlest iota. You've never heard of me?
I'll just stay.
Are you mad about the blaze hatchets I've killed?
I mean, I didn't know them personally.
Fair enough. Then why would you say such a horrible thing? Or amusing thing? I don't know.
I don't know, you just seem awfully cocky.
I assure you, it's not for lack of skill.
So who are you then?
My name is Jubal. Jubal Dragon Eater. And what name did your father give you?
I'm Broxgar.
Broxgar. Good blaze hatchet name. Most of the important ones from the past had Gar somewhere in their name. Interesting.
It's honorary.
Yeah, I believe it was for some trust ocean. Anyway. He grins again. I'm not terribly concerned about your problems. But like I said, if it's not your desire to be held here, I certainly could help you out.
I'll be fine on my own.
I'll be over here. And if you want to talk more about your grievances, why you're so upset, I'm more than happy to have you air them out.
So what do you mean you killed Anford?
I mean, I wrapped a garrote around his throat and strangled him to death.
Why would you do such a thing?
Because I was paid to.
And you're not gonna tell me if I ask you who paid.
Oh, the individual who paid me probably wouldn't like their identity to be given up so readily, but I can tell you that they're local. Alright, cut back to the Kurgosler house.
Notes.
That's what I like.
Yeah, well, you know.
So,
Writing.
Lord Kurgosler, it's pretty late in the evening. Do you wish to go and recover the king of the Blaze Hatchet clan?
When the time is right, and we need good optics, people. We need to be together as a group on this one. I know there's not a lot of people that are going to see us, but the ones that do, we want them to see us stride in there, you know, and stride out as like complete heroes.
You know that... Sorry,
yeah,
Bullet doesn't answer your call. Go ahead, Brett.
In the point of us going at this hour of the night so we don't do exactly what you just said there, little blue brother.
Well, of course, the crown does not want the people to see, you know, Proxgar released because it shows it's a bad face to the public where they see, you know, hey, that person killed somebody. Now he's getting out just because he's a lord or a king. But the people that do see us, I think we want them to see us looking our best. So I'm going to get all spiffed up.
Ain't it the king who's gonna decide what happens to Broxgar, not them little people?
That's true, but word gets around. Trust me on it. Just trust
Real
me.
quick, that's incorrect. The king does not serve as a judge. Judges
Oh.
serve as judges.
Brack doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But I was intercepting.
Gilbert
should know
should.
that. It would either
I should know.
it would be one of the judges, and more than likely, if they're available, it will be the bloody judge, the Margrave.
Oh, yes. That guy loves me.
Does he, though?
He does. He
love-
released me from prison.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he loves you. It means he has plans for you.
No, what it means is we need to prove that Broxgar is who he says he is, and then he's free. I mean, he could, if we prove he's a king, that'll be a totally justified killing, and it changes everything. So, anyways, we're all going, right? It's just a nice little walk We need to get a car. I've been thinking that.
Okay, what part of me being a leader of a gang in this area doesn't seem to make sense to you with me going to a place where they can throw people like me into jail?
Do they know you're a leader of a gang?
All the more reason to grab it, ain't it?
You mean grab Sam?
They know he's the leader of a gang. Most
All right,
governments ain't the biggest fans of gangs there, little brother.
Oh yes, there you go. All right. Anyways, let's all. Whoever's going, I'm going. I'm gonna go pretty soon. I want to get there right in time. You know, get him out. Don't want to let him languish. Hopefully, they have him in a confined cell by himself because he's very important. So we don't want anything to happen to him.
Fair enough. As you're preparing to head that way and getting ready and moving down the thoroughfare, back to the prison, at any point, King Blaze Hatchet, do you mention anything to the individual across the way from you? Or is the conversation pretty much concluded?
It's pretty much concluded.
He comes back to the bars and he looks across them at you. I'll tell you who hired me if you promise me to grant me a favor from the Blaze Hatchet clan. A boon. I think that's more than fair, since it's something you seem interested about.
What sort of boon would you require?
Well, as a child of Durgaden, I'm certain that you are a master craftsperson, or at least related to one. I have need for a new dagger, since mine have been taken.
Aye, that's honest enough work. I could craft you a dagger.
Fair enough. Then you swear it?
Aye, you have my word.
Rasikan Kilo was the one who hired me. As he says that, you notice that the shadows kind of loom for a second. And you kind of feel this sense of gravity kind of enter into the place. You also notice, in the darkness, up near the door, 2 green lights kind of flickering back at you from the torchlight near you, like cat's eyes. You then see a gray cat with no tail wandering into the chamber, move towards the bars near Dragon Eater's cell, and a bright green light flares. The next thing you see is a humanoid inside the cell with Jewel, holding him by the neck, pressing him against the bars. By the order of the Greys, you will be detained. The individual dissipates, and Jubal goes with him. The individual's beautiful, like a paragon of man, bright green eyes that seem to gleam throughout the entirety of the chamber as he takes and manifests. Hair chalk white. He wears gray robes. Looks like he has several swords on his person when he manifests in personal form. Of swords that you remember from stories. One of them being the Grey Sword, a sword made by dwarves in Osiria. Swords that were wielded by the Grey Sword Kings who rule in Angdanuk. Angdanuk also being the god of the mountain. So, whoever that individual was who just stole Jubal Dragon Eater away from that cell was next level shit. But yeah, they vanished.
Order. I'm pretty familiar by now with the Grey Order.
They vanish, and shortly thereafter, Gilbert and the rest of Krosler's heroes are allowed entrance down into the cell by the guard outside, and you descend into the dark cells with the guard who has the keys up to King Blaze Hatchet's cell.
Yeah, so just to say, Sam wasn't kidding about not coming with you. He was staying behind.
So who did come with me then?
I did.
Vrack?
Ren and Vrack.
Okay, that's good enough. It'll have to do.
A couple of Royal Company guards would have came with you, just to fill out the 5.
Oh, right. And then when we get down there, and I'd be like, "Come on, guards, you must release Broxgar at once."
He takes the key and puts it into the key slot and opens the door. Opening it, he has been granted to your charge.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, friends.
Please, when you attend upstairs, wait a few moments for the Magier to make sure that he has placed his mark upon you. Looking to Lord Blaze Hatchet.
Aye.
Then, as we would walk up the stairs, when we're out of, are those guards coming with us?
No, that guard stays down there.
Okay, good.
You see him place Colgar or Broxgar. Wow, I can't believe I did it. Broxgar. You see him kind of staring at the cell where Jubal was, and it looks like he's confused, but it doesn't look like he's like remembering right or understanding. It's not like he's like throwing up alarms right now, like a whole prisoner is missing, but he just seems to be kind of staring into the cell with a confused look.
I'd say, hey, Broxgar, this whole getting marked by the Magier thing, I don't know if that's absolutely necessary. Why don't we just leave and then we'll tell him the guard forgot to tell us? It's his word against ours. They'll never believe him.
Wow. That's a bad idea.
You hear
That's
a voice.
bad idea.
You hear a voice come from up the stairs say, "That'd be interesting if you'd like to leave this place at all."
I was supposed to be whispering, but okay, fine. Everybody heard me.
No. Nobody heard you besides whoever was up those stairs, who
Okay.
booms voice down. That'd be interesting if you'd want to leave this place at all.
All right.
And then Ren would turn to Brox and say, "Is Fury really gone?"
It seems so. I'm not sure what happened to the block that it turned in. It's not much of an axe or a gun anymore.
I don't think Brack grabbed it. It was left behind. But when you get upstairs, your effects are out on a table. One of them is a solid stone Fury. Another of the lemon caps is standing there, kind of pulling it out of the box there. And you can see that Major Goodman is standing there, dressed a little bit more haughty than you recall him ever having been dressed. He's wearing kind of like finery, almost similar to how Vrazig was dressed, except that his hood is down and he's not wearing a mask over his face. He looks to you and says, "Prisoner, I've been pulled away from slightly more important matters than this to deal with this matter. Please present your palm to me."
I do so.
He places his finger on your palm, and you see two hatchets appear with a small engraving of fire around them on your palm in magical light. Huh. Your arcane signet is the blaze hatchet. He grins. Interesting indeed. Well, that will probably help you a bit in your defense. It looks to Lord Kurgosler. He then says, "The mark I placed upon you signifies that you are in the city of Rostagar. If you exit the city of Rostagar, that sigil will send me a beacon denoting that you have left the city. Once that is done, you have signed yourself over to an edict of exile for the crime of murder, which you have not been charged for, which you have not been proven guilty as of having committed, you have been proven as having been seen doing the act. However,
I have no intention of running from what I did. What I did was just, Major Goodman. I know you haven't known me for long, but I'm not a bad person.
Of course. I just need to tell you that if you do leave the city, you will be exiled from it indefinitely."
I understand.
Very good.
Can I scrutinize on him?
Go nuts. But you're doing a bad telling me that you want to do a thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I want to pay special attention to him, especially his haughty clothes and
For scrutinize,
all
it's
that.
more of like a time when I think it's relevant. This isn't like a horribly relevant thing, but
If it isn't the time, that's fine. That's fine.
yeah. Are you trying to incite him, trying to denote like why this is happening? Like what?
Well, I'm just paying special attention to what you said about his dress and his more haughty attitude. Whether he's going to the party or
You would
whether
know from
he's-
the calls with Billette that he was being interrupted while he is at the wedding kind of pre-parties. You know that
then never mind. That's fine.
Yeah, in 6 days the wedding will take place, and the guests are basically coming in, and anybody who is anybody is currently staying in this part of the Alderac Castle, the manor house, to be a guest there.
Cool. Thanks.
All right. And as you are exiting out with Broxgar in tow, you see that the throngs of the Duchess's people are kind of set up in camps outside of the manor house, comfortably so. Fires are kind of burning out in the grass, set up in small campfire spots. Looks like a comfortable atmosphere. Okay.
To walk right past, unnoticed.
Well,
Yeah, we're gonna walk right past.
you're walking out of the you're walking out. You're not looking for anybody who might be in that camp. That's good. And you head out.
I would just ask openly to everyone. I was told that a family artifact would be delivered to me. Do you guys know anything about it? An axe?
Oh, yeah, brother. You, this is gonna make you laugh. We took it, well, you see here, brother, the conglomerate kinda sorta has it a little bit. You see?
Right.
Yeah.
That last you see it kind of sounded a bit more like Bill Cosby than Macho Man Randy Savage.
Jello.
Well,
Well, what are the chances that you think you could get it back?
pretty easy. It's just gonna have to wait till morning.
That's fine. That's not a problem. Right on. Just wanted to ask.
Okay. Head back to Hasker Gosler. Sam's still there. During that time, which is only like 30 minutes to an hour, Sam, is there anything in particular you want to do?
Yeah, I just sort of messaged you in the side chat that I'm like, I have no idea what to do before like the full-on lunar eclipse happens. So I'm just kind of find a spot in the house that I can just sort of sit and stare up at the sky and just try to think if there's anything that I could do.
The lunar eclipse portion's already concluded. That was yesterday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's kind of ascending into a stage of what's going to happen is the sun, the moon, the center point of the spiral, which in the night sky is kind of like the Milky Way, except that instead of looking at a galaxy like from the inside effectively, you're kind of looking at it from the outside at the top portion. In the center of this huge unending spiral in the sky is like a black blot, which isn't anything in particular, but most people refer to it as the Dargian Rift, the point where shadow begins. In older times, it was said that that point in the sky, in the center of that galaxy, connected to the plane Urs, a very long black pillar that ascended up skywards and could be seen from anywhere on the plane. So, yeah, your presumption is that once those all connect, that rift will reconnect.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out if there's anything. You know what? I might as well search through like the small-esque library that Kurgosler has just to see if there might be anything in there that I overlooked before.
Good.
While I'm just waiting.
Yeah, make an investigation check. We're looking for high rolls.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Investigation. And oh dang it! I really wish
you're familiar with this library.
I do not have inspiration.
Well, no, you're familiar with this library, so I would say you'd have advantage. You've been messing around with this library for a while.
Oh, yes.
So 29 total.
So what you would note is, as you're kind of investigating a bit and kind of studying a bit, you keep on getting references to something that Cardiff had kind of wrote out in your diagram that kind of links with information that you've been kind of stockpiling inside of this petty library. And with that, you kind of come to a realization. If your understanding of everything here is 100% accurate, the other thing that you're noting is that not only will the Dargian Rift high up in the sky, the sun, the moon, and Urs kind of create kind of a tethering, kind of like a link point. It seems that when the shadows align at high noon, the shadows will be directly overhead the city of Rostigar.
Oh, fun. So at high noon, and then is that tomorrow?
6 days from today.
And what is the date currently?
6 days before that day.
My gosh.
You're
Come on,
in-
John. Give me the date in your silly world.
Here, hold on. Sorry. Making me work.
When dogs and cats start living together, when the shadow hits us.
Bear with me here. Son of a biscuit.
Oh. I think I might have the months if you want me to tell you the months.
No, I know
Somewhere.
them.
You know them, alright. You made them up.
Okay, so it's spring. It would be what is considered the month of Adar, also known as first bloom. And it would be the latter portion of it. So it would be, today is the 25th of Adar, and in 6 days will be, because this is a leap year, will be the 31st of Adar. Every 4 years, an additional day is added onto the 30-day month. And that is known as the Adar Shinai. It is also a really religiously important day for the elves. It is represented by a 13th zodiac known as the Bright Star. And I think you also know the name of the Bright Star in Elvish and Orcish, or not Orcish, Dwarvish. Yeah.
Ah, good to know. So everything will align. It'll be a high holy day for the elves, and there'll be a shadow of Erasgar from this basically arm type thing that's being made. Fun! I think after Sam finds that, he's going to find his way back down into Gilbert's wine cellar.
Okay. And of course, you recall that we discussed last time that the magic circle down here, which has been kind of perfected by Grisalwell, or Grisel, sorry, my brain can't do words right. But when Grisel came down here, they perfected the magic circle down here, and you think now at this point you might be able to utilize that to function as a teleportation circle that might link you back up to the tower. Just wanted to make sure you knew that.
Oh yeah, no, I know that. I'm actually looking through the list of portals to see if I can find... Is that Nim's Tower?
Mm-hmm. No. Nim's Tower is a separate tower. Sorry. The tower itself won't be listed on that list of stuff because the presumption is that you were teleporting from there to somewhere else.
Gotcha.
And that would be the Hag's Tower, if you want to add it.
Yeah, I might just mess with the thing right now and connect it to the Hag's Tower.
Okay.
I'm assuming that one will be blue.
Yes, it is indeed blue. Do you want to step through or no?
Yeah, sure. Why the hell not?
All right. As you do so, you feel kind of a sudden heat, kind of like as you're kind of contorted and sent through the portal, you feel a sudden heat kind of enter around you. And as your eyes kind of flare away from the magic, you can see that you're standing inside of the Hag's Tower. The door's still kind of open and kind of battering against some very dry, heavy wind. Sand has piled up all along the steps, and outside of the door, you can still see a black ziggurat off in the distance, or pyramid rather, off in the distance. It seems that the capstone is kind of glowing, kind of pulsing, very just sickening kind of green color. And you do see that there does appear to be tracks, but that have kind of been windblown, that have either approached this tower or have exited out from this tower.
So, from what I can tell, if I step outside of this place, will it, like, kill me?
No, it's just you're in a desert right now, so it would be bad. What you also notice, any papers or notes or any documentation you left in the tower before it got zapped away is gone.
So, this is going to be completely and totally reckless. Probably. How far is it to this ziggurat?
It's probably the better part of half a mile.
So that'll take me like what? Like
Some time. I mean, if maybe 20 or 30 minutes to walk that.
yeah, that's what I was thinking that. So yeah, I'm going to start walking towards that ziggurat.
Okay. What you'll note is that it appears that the sun is out, but only just. It feels like you're in a different time zone. I guess the best way to describe that. Where it was dark outside and quite late, maybe 10 p.m., when you left on your side of the world, wherever you are now, it's probably closer to like 6 or 7 p.m. Couple hours difference.
Okay.
As you kind of start walking off in that direction, you can see that the pyramid stands on one side, and far off to the left, you can see that there appears to be a very massive city with high spires that kind of glisten in the sunlight. Turning around and kind of looking behind you back at the tower, you can see that it's kind of framed now against a backdrop of massive peaks that stand high above the sands below. And that's some distance away, miles and miles off, but you can still see them quite clearly. You would recognize these as the barrier peaks. You continue on, and as you continue to approach the ziggurat, you kind of have this feeling of kind of dread, sickening dread, kind of churning in your stomach. Just feels off. And the sun begins to kind of descend out too, so the air becomes a bit cooler, but still quite arid and hot. As you get closer to the pyramid, you can tell that it doesn't seem to have any sort of entrance or point of egress. There doesn't appear to be any kind of main door or anything like that. It is literally just a solid black pyramid with a green capstone that kind of, green capstone that kind of glows sickeningly green.
Okay, in terms of like entrance, like does it seem like there's any entrances around this thing or anything written on the side of it, or?
You kind of make your way to it and see that there's no writing. It looks like, basically, if you're familiar with pyramids, like in Egyptology and such, like in olden times, the pyramids were actually covered with like a flat of kind of like white stone. They weren't the same color that they are in today's.
Yeah, they were some sort of like limestone covering or whatnot.
Yeah, it looks like they put like a sheet of jet on the outside or covered it with some sort of blackened stone. On closer inspection, what you realize is it's actually covered with obsidian. The obsidian seems to have been melted, formed to it perfectly flat in sheets on the pyramid beneath. There's no markings or anything that you can find, not immediately anyways, and it doesn't look like there are any doors or entryways, tunnels, or access points in or around the area.
Is there any way to climb up the ziggurat, so to
Okay.
speak, then, or pyramid.
As you kind of touch it and kind of try and feel around for a way of doing that, you hear a. The voice doesn't seem to be emitting from anything besides the stone, but it seems to kind of tremble through your hand.
Great. That's just great. Hello?
Do you speak any of the fiendish tongue? Infernal or the other one?
Let's see. I speak Draconic. That's about it.
Okay. A voice kind of flutters from the stone, kind of rippling through the air around you, and speaks very just dark toned words, what you presume are words, towards you.
Okay, I am going to spend 10 minutes then. Actually, no. When it starts talking and I don't understand it, I'm just going to burn a first level spell slot.
Okay.
Comprehend languages. I should be able to understand it, I just can't speak it.
You who are linked to the shard, release me.
Yeah, I'm not thinking that's like the greatest idea. Why should I release? What are you?
Release me. And the voice grows more booming. You actually watch as the sand kind of ripples out like rivulets of water from where a stone strikes a pond away from the pyramid.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a hard pass there, fella.
You hear a voice come from behind you. Why not?
I turn around.
There,
What's behind me?
standing in the sands behind you, is a woman wearing a blue dress, bright blonde hair, very gorgeous, but definitely not dressed for the environment. Definitely very out of place. Let me get a picture here real quick. Hold on. I might be giving away too much with it, but whatever. Bear with me.
Well, this is fun. Sam's alone in the middle of a desert.
You did this to yourself.
I know. Guys, don't worry. I have a backup character already planned just in case.
Oh, I'd never kill Sam. That's just that thing you were talking about before we started broadcasting. That sounds dope. Let's do that. She
Oh.
appears.
She looks like Rapunzel. Right. I mean, I'm not in the habit of, like, releasing things that are, like, speaking to me in infernal or demonic tongues from, buildings that I've just touched. Just as a rule of thumb.
Why not? It's
Well,
probably not something you come across very often. I mean, it's definitely an opportunity that's been granted to you and you alone.
yeah, it's an opportunity, but, not all opportunities are the greatest things to pick up. I just, not sure that this is, the wisest move to make.
Then what do you think is?
I'm still figuring that out.
Do you know what this is?
It's a ziggurat
Hmm.
covered in obsidian.
Yes, it's a pyramid. And if I understand correctly, you're looking for one, aren't you not?
I mean, that seems true enough, but wasn't looking to necessarily release anything that was inside of it.
Well, you did with the last one.
Yeah, that wasn't my idea, and that wasn't, I feel like, on purpose. At least I hope it wasn't. Otherwise, I have to talk to Valette.
Well, would you say that the current situation is worse off than before? I mean, hasn't it been a boon to you? You've grown so much since that time.
Okay, so first of all, I have to pause here for a second. Who are you?
It's not
And-
important.
No, I think it kind of is. Like, you
You're
seem to
wrong.
know a bit about me.
Sure, we're
That-
connected. She smiles.
Okay, that's bothering me even more now. What do you mean we're connected?
You've met my connection to you. I've met yours. And through those two, I've been able to learn a bit about you. Because I've been interested. You have no desire for it. So you haven't focused on it yet. Look. And she looks to the dagger at your belt. You hardly even take it out.
Well, yeah, but I also, have other means of doing things as I just sort of like wave my hands like magic gestures. Magic.
Interesting. But magic is fleeting. You can't do it forever, can you?
Well, no, that's why I have the dagger as like a last resource.
But it's the most powerful thing you have on your person.
Are you sure about that? I hold up my
yes.
hands.
I'm very certain of that.
Yeah, well, use it if I need to.
The connection that you have at your disposal allows you to speak to many other people, many other minds, older minds. When Cardiff was a part of your choir, you learned from him, did you not?
Well, yeah, but most of the time when I pick this thing up, I talk to that.
You hear a
Idiot.
voice kind of come into your head. Oh, don't listen to her. We should get back to the tower. Let's go.
Oh my, see, it's him. Usually it's him that I hear.
Do you not want to hear him anymore?
I'm not saying I wouldn't want to hear him anymore. Not saying I wouldn't want to hear him any less either.
I'd trade you. Perhaps the person that I speak to would be able to give you more information that you seek. Tell you a little bit more about what you're currently investigating.
Yeah, no, I think I'm
Hold
good
on.
for the most part.
I hate to be I gotta use the restroom real quick. It doesn't very often come up. It's just out of nowhere.
Okay,
I gotta
that's
pee.
fine.
I'm
What
gonna.
you said?
I'm sorry.
That's kind of awkward in the middle of our conversation, lady.
She runs off. She pops a squat. I'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, 1 second.
Don't worry, we're not going to talk about you.
Yeah, we're going to talk about how
I'd
Sam's
prefer it
going
if you
to turn
did.
evil now.
Yeah, but no, yeah. Do try and keep talking. I'm gonna leave the stream going. But yeah, be right back.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh man, that's a lot of pressure, guys.
Yeah.
Has to leave in the middle of my conversation with evil.
First he's tempting Joe, now he's tempting Matt. I think he used the word boon both times, didn't he?
Probably.
Boons
I
are
remember.
What about Daniel Boone? Do we
Yeah,
get
big
Daniel
knife.
Boone?
great. Yep.
I thought that was David Bowie who had the big knife.
No, that was what was the name?
Davy
of that
Crockett
crocodile?
had the Bowie knife.
Yeah, didn't he?
Fireways in space.
Crocodile Dundee had a big knife too.
Well, yeah, but he's from Australia. If you don't have a big knife there, then you're basically dead.
The spiders, everything can kill you.
The food.
Good thing, Joe, is now you don't have to make that dagger for that guy.
Yeah.
Screw him.
He gets out. He'll probably get out someday.
I wonder what weapon I'd get if I said yes.
I think you should. Just to
Yeah.
see.
You
What
be
is-
you.
Think of all the good
Yeah.
superpowers that John will give you.
Think of all the fun that Kevin is having playing Evil Gilbert.
And the
And
look on Tim's face
when
when
you
he
kill pockets, that'll be great.
Oh my god.
imagine the look on Tim's face when he comes back and watches.
That would
this.
be
It's just like,
amazingly hilarious.
Matt, no,
No.
no,
There will be
I
tears.
wasn't there. What, the third time he's failed because he wasn't there?
Yeah, that's right.
I'd
Oh,
like to
that makes it
break
even
that
better.
Really funny. Tim's gone and he fails again.
Yeah.
Fucking, you would break him.
Never play with us again.
I,
He just gives
I
up.
wouldn't be surprised.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about turning people from evil to good, but maybe we should be turning them from good to evil.
Only the evil people would say that.
Fuck you, Kevin.
All the
the
cool
question
kids are doing it.
Is
If we're going to
because-
split the party half and half, like one of us has to be evil, would you rather prefer the really strong guy or the really magical guy to be good or evil?
I'd rather Vrak and you. And then it'd be 4 against 2.
Yeah, I still like the 3 versus 3 idea.
Yeah, 3 versus 3 is pretty good. But I think we have a chance with Ren because he's talking about like all these, little secrets here and there. Pretty soon he's gonna be, betraying somebody. Probably
I
Gilbert.
think that it's impossible for me not to betray somebody.
Probably.
It's just a matter of who gets betrayed and whether I'm making the right choice. I'm thinking a lot about that.
Or is there a right choice?
Or you could make all your choices out in the open and like not betray anyone.
Have you
No.
met Andy?
Motherfucker and his side chats.
Yeah. Well, Sam side chats a lot too.
I mean, I side chat, but I side chat with things that you're probably going to hear like relatively soon anyway.
Give me a break. Gilbert has an evil Esper whispering secrets. What am I supposed to do? Oh, Gilbert. No. You gotta get sneaky.
You got to get sneaky.
I
Wait a
mean, to
minute,
be
this
fair, there's a
doesn't have
difference
an
between
evil
Kevin and
Esper.
Gilbert.
Right. Although Kevin,
Don't hate
you're
Esper.
doing great.
Yeah, you are Kurgazlu's heroes.
Yeah.
Right? Except if you say that anymore, we're gonna kill you.
Sam's just going to like cast telekinesis on your head and try to remove your body.
Hey, it's been said enough now where it's now canon. People around the city are just saying it.
Yeah,
know
and that's
about-
why
I
Sam's
don't
going
know
to kill the
about
people around the
people.
city.
They may.
That was crazy.
Crazy, man.
You kill
Now,
off
if you'll excuse me, I have to go to the
Kevin's
bathroom.
character
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So where were we?
I don't know. I think I was killing you.
now. We were
Damn it.
about to
Yeah,
break.
continue.
Tim.
Yeah.
She had said, "Do you want to switch? Do you want to trade? I think
Right.
the spirit that I have might be of more use to you than the one that you have."
Yeah, listen, he's kind of useless, I'm not going to lie, but on the bright side, he at least is yapping at me. No idea what a new one would do. Honestly, it might just gab, gab, gab all the day long. And I'm not sure I feel like I want that kind of, like, change in my life right now.
She's been very quiet with me, but she seems to know quite a lot. She knew that you were here. She knew
Yeah,
how to
and
get
again,
me to you.
that's kind of creepy.
You're not interested in being able to do likewise. Oh, hold on. She's saying something to me. One moment.
See what I mean, Chatty Cathy?
No, she said she knows how to close the rift. I don't know what that means, but maybe it's of interest to you. She grins.
Okay, now see, this is just called, like, too overly convenient. I think I should be able to figure this out myself, probably.
Conspiracies.
And Sam just starts walking back towards the treehouse at this point.
Okay. The woman in the blue dress doesn't seem to follow or try and get your attention any further. As you are heading that way, you notice that maybe 100 or so feet outside of it, there's the weather kind of has been windy, but not like terribly so. A little bit of sand in your eyes, but nothing nuts. So, but closer to the tower, what you notice is that there are little footprints that seem to kind of, as you're continuing on along the path, they look like the closer you get, the more noticeable or prominent they become. Like less time has been spent, less wind has been able to brush them over. But as you're kind of looking at them, it appears that they are cat footprints that head into the tower.
How'd that fucking thing get here? Little furball. Just
get-
keep walking.
You get back into the tower by nightfall in Einkarn, and you see that sitting on the table is the cat, kind of just resting quietly, eyes closed, sleeping.
I just sort of glare at the thing.
Okay.
Poke it with a stick.
Kind of like nudges into it, and you can hear a little bit of purring.
Right, well, do you know how to get back?
Just
walk through the portal.
okay. Well, yeah. You walk through the portal and zap back into your estate beneath. The portal goes dead and silent, and you notice that walking out of the portal along with you is the cat. Heads
Should
off
develop
into
an
the
allergy to you.
heads off into the winery area. You then see, as you're kind of left alone in that portal room, the Esper of Pockets appear before you. I knew you'd make a good choice. They're gonna keep offering it though. You gotta be mindful. I'm sorry if I'm annoying, and I get it. It's fine. But I got a good heart, and I think that's why we were put together.
What, so that between the two of us we'd have one whole person?
Oh no. Just to help you make some good choices. That's all.
I grab a bottle of wine and
He-
walk upstairs.
He says, "I'll shut up. Just if you ever need me." And he disappears.
Oh, I've made Pocket sad.
Oh no. He doesn't seem sad. He seems, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
The Sam part doesn't really care that much. The Matt part feels bad.
Fair enough. Okay. You probably return well after they arrive back. So when
Yeah,
you guys actually arrive there, Sam's nowhere to be found.
Typical.
We're used to that.
Yeah, Sam must have left somewhere. All right, guys. You can have your old rooms back, of course. And you need anything?
Oh boy, kitchen table. Thanks, my lord.
Oh, you know what? You are a knight now. We'll have to find you a bed somewhere, or set up a cot at least. Hey, it's like spring, right?
Yeah.
Spring, summer. You
Early
can sleep
spring.
on the balcony. That's Sam's room, but you can sleep on the balcony.
I would immediately go to my little research area and start writing shit.
Gilbert, did you take his lineage papers, or did you leave them where they were?
I would actually, when I see him getting his stuff, I'd be like, "Oh, sorry, I had borrowed your lineage papers. These are going to be critical, so make sure that you do not lose them, or nobody takes them. You might want to keep them on your person at all times." And I give them to him.
Alright, I'll do that. I'll shove it in a pocket somewhere where it's on.
And as soon as we can, we're going to have to go and get your birthright, you know, your ancestral blaze hatchet or axe.
I'll deal with it in the morning, little man.
All right.
I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, you know, we kind of have to help each other. That's what friends do, right?
I hate to be that guy again, but apparently I should have done more on that toilet when I was on there. I apologize. I'll be right back. This has been like 100-something sessions, and I've never had to take a
Yeah.
break. So I guess it's all just heading tonight. Be right back.
He was eating seafood
It's been
beforehand.
holding it all this time.
Yeah, the whole time. This is 100 sessions worth of Dookie. Okay, anyways, be back.
That's-
Oh man.
I mean, you know, it's not like you can do it at work, right?
You know, maybe he should wear those astronaut diapers so he could just go to bathroom in his pants.
That just sounds creepy.
It sounds gross for sure.
Well, hey guys, at least we know what the last temptation of Sam looks like.
Yeah. We know it's going to be similar.
Whatever the most recent question you asked answer will be.
I like
keep
seriously though. This is one of those this is perfectly out of a conspiracy theory where like I'm trying to figure something out and suddenly someone comes up and like I know the answers.
Yeah, it's good for you. It's easy for you to resist because you know that something's not right.
Well, I mean, I've seen enough anime to know where this is going.
So what do you think? Hey, now that he's gone, what do you guys think is going to happen when like everything aligns? Is it going to be like the 6 days from now? Is that going to be like the Bloody Duchess kills everybody in the castle and then it's like a one big massacre? Because that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, I think something's going to happen. I'm just not sure what it's going to be exactly. I
gonna be
don't think
big.
it will. I don't think it will be the Bloody Duchess. I think honestly it will have something to do with the pyramids.
Like a devil or something gets released or a big demon, somebody that's like really tough.
Something like Sex Tersul.
Yeah,
Maybe.
and they need like a group of heroes to save the world.
Yeah, unfortunately, if they're named Kurgazlu's heroes, the world will end regardless.
Well, yeah, some of them are good, but some of them are evil, and some of them are just kind of in between. So like everybody loves them. You know, they got the bad boy person, the little
No,
blue
I
bad boy.
just mean the name of the gang alone will just destroy everything.
Yeah, so what he said.
Exactly.
Possibly a new character to join that group. I don't think Brack will.
You know, whatever. If anything happens to you, we'll bail you out.
What happens to Sam? Sam will be fine.
Anything happens to Vrak, I said we'll bail him out.
Vrak will be fine. What could happen to him? You know, it's not
don't
like he
know.
might just randomly go and kill someone.
Well, what's you're breaking up with your audio, Matt?
I'm in the
what is
kitchen.
What is Vrak's sin?
Greed.
Oh, greed. Ooh. Vrak is not a greedy guy, though.
Nope.
That's the problem.
He's also the least connected to his Esper Edge.
True. Which means he could switch out for an evil one. That's stronger.
I mean, hey, Sam's not too terribly far behind on the not being connected to his Esper Edge.
That's true.
I just mean like story-wise. Just
That is
Yeah.
true.
after getting awoken from a dead sleep in a cave after being kidnapped, like, or pyramid, rather.
Pyramid cave, same thing.
You know what I mean?
They're similar.
Wait, you were woken up in a pyramid?
Yeah, that's where you found Brack, was after he unlocked.
Remember, he was like one of
yeah,
those
that's
weird
right.
slave people or something.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. Yes, you are correct. In a pyramid.
and you just handed him the sword. Fuck yeah, let's do this thing. Started whacking people with it.
Let's go, brother.
Hell yeah. We're gonna take him down.
Yes, but sometimes we miss Yen Lauren.
Have you been role playing?
No,
No.
Totally.
Dang it.
The whole
just
time.
talking.
Well, go nuts. You're all back in the house effectively. Sam, you can just interject yourself anytime from reappearing.
Cool.
We hear noise down the basement. Hey, Sam, you back?
Hey, I interject, not you guys.
We heard ya. Unless you
You
were
wouldn't.
quiet. Oh, we didn't hear you. All right, fine. What are we doing tomorrow, guys? Besides, you know, we had to spend some time to go over Brockscar's defense, of course, but I think we got that wrapped up. So, like, what else do you guys want to do? We can't leave the city.
Well, there's a couple more evil espers lurking. Maybe we should go take care of them. And I laugh. Only kid.
Yeah, good. I like that. I like that joke. That's a good one. Lately, I've started to see that we need all kinds in this world, you know. So we are all kinds. We make up everybody here. We got some good, we got some bad, but really, you know, bad. I'm not real bad, you know, just little. So,
I thought you said that you weren't bad at all.
well, I don't know. I'm just saying I have a bad Esper, so I guess if I use it, does that make me bad? I don't think so. What do you guys think?
Why are you wearing it at your side?
Because I don't want it walking off with somebody else.
Why don't you just put it away somewhere safe? Keep it far away from you so you're not corrupted by it.
Also, out of
Well-
curiosity, which room is everyone in right now? Is this like the
Dining
front
room.
room? Or dining
Or,
room?
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Dining room, front room.
My
something like
bedroom.
His bed.
Um,
Gosh.
that. No, the reason I don't
It's like
because
college.
somebody tried to kill me once already, and I had to fight him, and that's why I need my weapon on me at all times.
A lot of people have tried to kill you a lot of times.
And so
I always
Sam
have
comes
my
in
weapon.
with a bottle in his hand. Right, so what are we doing tomorrow?
I gotta go get Brockscar's family thingy. Hey, brother.
It's the blaze hatch.
Yeah, he's got words for it.
Right, so anyway, 6 days till the rift. Need to
Oh,
figure out what to do.
Can
I
you
know
tell
what I'm
us
gonna
more
do.
about that? What do we need to know?
I mean, you know, there's going to be a shadow over Rossigar probably when that happens. It's going to align like perfectly over the city. Who knows? Probably
So-
terrible things. Takes a swig out of the bottle. We'll all probably end up dead. It'll be fun.
Sounds like it.
Oh, by the way, I know where the treehouse is, and it's kind of like out in front of a pyramid covered in obsidian that seems to be holding another like demonic force. So, you know, nothing too big of a deal. It's out in the desert.
Can you take us there?
I mean, I left the portal open downstairs, probably.
I have a question. Would I know that if we take Brockscar and go in a portal, he's going to show us not being in the city, right?
Accurate.
So then the alarm's going to go off. Damn.
It's near the barrier peaks. Really sandy. There was a creepily pretty woman there. I don't know. It's weird. Wondering if something's going to happen there too. Maybe that thing will be released when that happens.
I don't know.
What thing?
Oh, whatever it was that was in the tower telling me to release it.
Yeah, we should probably try not to do that again.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. The blue-dressed woman was trying to convince me otherwise.
Interesting. Do you guys have any suggestions on who would be good to scry on in the coming days? Because obviously I can't do the king or anybody like that. They're protected from scrying. But there's a lot of other people in the city. Or out of the city, actually. I think it'll work anywhere, right? What do I know what my limits are, John, on that scrying?
Anywhere on the
Basically
plane. Yeah.
Anywhere on the plane.
Do we know anything more about the Bloody Duchess and when she's coming?
I mean, she's here right now.
She's here right now. Okay.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
in there with the king.
Her entourage had the three Dark Esper Edge wielders in the group. When they saw them
Right.
in the entourage, that's when dwarfs jumped over fences and started shooting people.
8 lightning bolts and still shot people.
It wasn't 8, it was 3.
The only one to down an evil Esper, so.
Wait a minute, that's not true.
Well, I mean,
took one over.
kinda.
It's all good.
Kind of counts, doesn't it?
Yeah. Can you, Gilbert, are you able to scry on someone that you don't know? Like if I just gave you a name?
It's very difficult, isn't it, if I just know a name? But
If you have articles or something of worth or keep, yeah, you could try that.
yeah, do you have anything? Piece of cloth, hair, toothbrush, comb?
Nah, nothing like that. Don't forget about it.
Bummer.
Not even a nasal hair.
What if I did some sort of divination spell and tried to, like, I don't know, there's several different ones, augury and whatever,
Ugh.
and tried to find out about that person, and then once I got more information, tried to scry them. I don't know.
Well,
You still,
I
the,
guess.
the knowledge modifier is the problem. You would be
Oh.
getting secondhand information, so they get a +5 to their save.
Do you think that you could possibly try to locate Ras?
Isn't he dead? Rassicant is dead. No, I don't know.
He's missing. I don't know, nobody's
Missing.
confirmed him dead.
When
Sure,
you
I
tried
could
to
try.
when you tried to scry him the last time, do you recall what happened?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was like, I was blocked, wasn't I?
What did it say?
Yeah. It said he's in the Gray Order. Screw you. That's what it said. Yeah. I told everybody this. I don't know if they knew that before.
This leads me to divulge the whole thing with Jubal in the cellar, the royal dungeons. I'll tell you guys that I believe that the Grey Order was behind Amfred's assassination.
Do you tell the part about the cat?
Oh yeah, and the cat and Henry.
The cat is,
and the sword.
and the cat
The
is
cat's freaking here.
the cat is strangely in the room, and the second you mention it, the cat changes shape and becomes the guy you saw that pinned the man to the.
Yeah, there. That.
So we could all see him. Holy crap!
Holy, it's like Jubilix or Jubilee.
He looks at.
You seemed a bit strange for a cat.
He looks at Broxgar and he says, "I didn't know that you saw that. Apologies. I have no need to tell you what has been happening, other than you are of great interest to the Great Order, as are you,
Yes.
and you, and you," and just stares at each one of you.
Do you know anything about this rift, the coming lunar eclipse?
Okay, wait. Why were you following me over there too? In addition to his question.
Because you had an option that might have resulted in something very integral to my investigation.
Huh. And also Brox's question.
I don't remember what Brox is.
What do you know about the coming lunar eclipse and the potential doom of the world?
That's happened before.
Not comforting.
So it has happened before, and is there more to this story?
I really can't interfere with the lives of mortals. It's one of the edicts of the Covenant of the Ascended. In fact, I shouldn't have appeared to you in this way, but since I've been outed already.
You killed our king. Damn it!
No, this
You
isn't
Grey
Jubal.
Order.
This isn't Jubal.
No, I know,
Oh,
but the
okay.
Grey Order. The Grey Order. You killed our king. We were working on cleansing the corruption and saving him. You didn't give us the chance.
Rassicant made choices that were outside of the Order's goals.
Oh, bloody, bloody, blah. You say you don't want to interfere, and then you go and start killing kings. Make up your mind, you bunch of hypocrites.
The problem with elves is they typically have a chaotic heart. The point of the Order is for balance, and he thought that this was the best message for attaining that balance. Unfortunately, I disagreed.
Yeah, well, who are you guys to decide any of that thing if you're just going to stand back on your high towers?
He looks at you kind of just plainly. I don't stand on high towers. I slink around in sands. I walk around in basements, in dungeons. I watch.
Yeah, it's called a metaphor.
It's an unfortunately incorrect metaphor and holds no sense of gravity towards the matter at hand. It would be like me saying that you are the most powerful mage in all of the world. It would be an accurate statement, wrong and flawed in its measure. So, Sick metaphor, bro. No.
So what
Oh,
should we be
do you want to
doing?
go?
Do you want to go?
Is the Grey Order's interest in us had to do with the Espers and the evil Espers?
I cannot
Looks like
interfere
it.
in
I'm
the
looking
lives
at
of
Ren.
mortals.
See, this is what I'm talking about. He says that he's slinking around and just observing, and then he can't even give us a hand.
He said he's interested in us, and then he said he can't talk about it.
Yeah, what can you talk about? What should we be doing? 6 days it's going to happen. We want to be prepared.
It's happened before.
Man, you don't seem at all concerned.
I'm not.
How about this? You know, we're responsible for releasing Durin,
Yes.
and now we have the opportunity to potentially stumble across another one and release him. And why don't you go level that pyramid?
Durin is a mortal. Humbaba is a mortal. A mortal. We have no sway over the lives of mortals. Unfortunately, the Shedim and the princes of the 13 gates have that specific override and are outside of the bounds of the Covenant.
Alright then, if you can't tell us when any of this happened, or what happened, or anything like that, is there anything you can do for us?
And I suppose Rasikant has already made choices that have involved you far deeper in this than anyone in the Great Order would wish it. Our defeat of Ashmedea was slighted, and it's clumsy, and Rasikant's efforts have definitely made me quite confused to the matter at hand. The Black Blade is the source of the linking that you currently understand to be espers or esper edges. That Black Blade holds inside of it a soul that cannot be released in this plane. If that soul is released in this plane, the Great Order will be required to stop it.
Does that releasing have anything to do with a... Oh, he's got his headphones off.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed that part. What?
I said, does that releasing have anything to do with, like, a rift?
No.
What should we be doing to stop this release?
Your choices are the most important part. Your choices could lead to that blade and its connections to you, influencing you far greater than you've ever seen on this mortal plane. And at that point, whoever's influenced by it will need to be stopped.
Sam just looks at Gilbert and Brockscar out of the corner of his eye.
We look back. Hey, can you teach us how to unlock more power from our esper edges so we can defend ourselves against whatever's supposed to
I
happen?
cannot influence the lives of mortals.
We can.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. All right. Boy. Knowledge. What was this soul that you don't want to release? Can you tell us what that is?
Stasia.
And the Black Blade?
Stasia. Goddess of the moon.
Stasha. Nice. Thank you.
Any other questions of substance?
How can that goddess be held in the Black Blade? I don't understand that. Do you?
I don't mean to be condescending, but I don't think that there will be any point in your life where you'll understand the nature of the magic involved.
I'm used to people being condescending to me because I'm short, but
Yes, that's the reason why people are condescending to you.
Does
or
Brock
they're just assholes.
from research, does Brock know anything about Thorn? Or has
This-
anything been mentioned
this
about
doesn't-
Stas's champion?
This doesn't. I mean, yeah, you've learned a little bit about it because it does kind of connect to the Asper Edges and the Black Blade specifically. Yeah, the Rune Blade was once held by Thorn.
Once wielded by the Stasia's champion, yeah, Thorn. That would be the connection to answer your question, Gilbert.
It's deeper than that, but yes, it's a good starting point.
Huh.
Your cosmic alignment issue is a matter all your own, as it deals with the natural worlds. It does not matter to the Grey Order.
Lovely.
Hey, is there anything we can do to help the Grey Order?
Why would we want to? Never.
Surrender.
I'm just asking him. I'm being polite, okay?
Hmm.
I want to see what he has to say.
Surrender your blades to the sea? No?
It's not going to happen.
I didn't think so.
Sorry.
Wait, surrender it to what?
The sea.
Like dump it in the ocean.
Yeah.
What was that noise?
Yeah.
Nothing? Nothing at all. Sam's not slightly contemplating dropping his blade just into the ocean randomly. That would be crazy talk. How far is it to the water?
Not too far. I mean, you're pretty close to the coast. But the individual, as I've described him, kind of looks to you all. If there are no other questions of substance, I must be on my way. I will try and observe in a less conspicuous fashion as you have uncovered my disguise. Not a terribly thoughtful one, but it worked in the past.
Oh, is there some way we can contact you if we need like a
No.
phone a friend type thing? Need some help fighting a big bad demon or devil or
No.
no? All right, because those have a lot to do.
You hear in your head,
with
and
us.
this individual's mouth doesn't move. You hear in your head, I cannot interfere in the lives of mortals. And it just continues ringing in your head for the rest of the conversation.
I know what you're saying.
It's saying it right
but
now.
if it's
As you're trying to
immortal that
talk,
we're
it's the only
fighting-
thing you can hear.
All right, fine. Damn it. Okay.
No other questions of substance?
Could I just thank you for that?
You actually see him smile. Okay. Nothing? Nothing else? Nobody?
And I got
gonna-
nothing right now.
What's
It's gonna
your
be a
name?
little. It's gonna be a little weird with you hanging out in cat form, but
Well, actually, wait a second. Out
He
of
said it.
curiosity, are there at least any books you could point me towards?
I cannot influence the lives of mortals. What did you say, Kevin?
What's your
Worth a
name?
shot.
I am known by many names.
Doug Funny.
Malin Balcard. I have been known as the Grey Ogre, Pale Slayer, Dark Knight of Vermilion, Scourge of Tessa, Dwarf Slayer, Mithril Reaver, Death Dealer of the World Divider, Forger of the Covenant of the Ascended, Master of the Grey Order, the Ancient One, the one created by Askaya.
So you're like one of the first of the Grey Order, then,
Wounded by
if not the first.
Grey Sword. It seems like he just continues rambling on all these titles. And then he kind of stops. Yeah, I am one of the first.
Wow. Can I shake your hand?
No.
Damn it.
You do realize he can't influence the mortal world. Come on.
Well, you know, a handshake, is that really insane? I mean, I guess it is. He can't even touch somebody.
I tell
Alright,
you,
fine.
so far as to say, Gilbert Kergosler, that you so far have been the closest to tilting the balance and causing her to come out. If that helps you at all.
Oh, what? Are you kidding me? What have I done? I mean, I think I've been holding things together pretty good. I got the heroes back together.
I must be going. He kind of starts walking towards the door, kind of looks over his shoulder for a second, his green eyes kind of flare, and he kind of just slowly dissipates into dust.
Yeah, so I'm going to get going soon too. I'm going to go back to my place. It's a bit crowded here.
Yeah. I'm gonna go find Valette and go back to my office.
I'm gonna write a bunch of stuff down.
I'm gonna hang out here scrying on people and doing other stuff.
Sam's going to
Okay.
go back into the basement and grab 3 more bottles and walk back to his place.
If you're all kind of separating out for the evening and kind of, working towards getting to bed, I'll go ahead and fast forward to the next day. So there's now 5 days.
One
before-
thing
Go ahead.
before we do go to
Yeah.
bed, can I get Broxgar to write me some sort of official decree denoting him as acting as his, like, king's hand or something while I go to get his official weapon from the conglomerate so they don't think it's mine, they think it's his?
He can go and
That
pick it
makes
up
sense?
himself. He just can't leave the
I
city.
thought- Oh,
Yeah, he
okay.
can't leave the city.
Okay, so he can come with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is currently
Got it.
under Gilbert's.
Cool.
Is that your cat?
Why you do a big crying?
She just like started growling at Holly's
Oh, is your
butt.
kitty crying?
What? She was growling at Holly?
At her butt, yeah.
At her butt. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So apparently my cat smelled my dog's butt and was not a fan. But so kind of moving it into the next day. I'm sorry, I apologize. Cat weirdness kind of cut me off. Was that my train of thought?
Can I
That's-
text you, or can I like message you after the game about what a couple things I want to try at night?
You can message me now about it,
Oh, I mean, I could do that then. All right.
or you can just tell me
Message
about
you
it now if you're trying to be stealthy.
All right. I guess it doesn't matter that much, but I just want to find out if I can like unlock powers of my Esper Edge. Actually, I don't even think I know what the powers are.
She's not talking to you.
I'm talking to her though.
She's not talking to you.
God damn it!
If you remember, there was
That's
kind of
how
a
you piss me off is by not talking to him.
You have to
Well-
sweet talk her, right?
yeah.
Drives me crazy.
Yeah,
you
come
were-
on, buy her flowers, like maybe get some chocolates.
I
That
should
might
have
work.
been. I should have been blowing up innocent people and crap like
Yeah.
that.
Sacrifice some people. That
But-
might work too.
A bunch of guys who have no idea how women work.
Oh gosh, I've been married for a long time, so I know how
that,
they.
that does not mean expert.
But my character is different. You're right.
Fair enough. Fair
Um,
enough.
All right, let's see. So, all right, yeah, that's all, dude. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Nothing going on with the sword. The next morning, very early in the morning, another messenger arrives. This one does not barge in and toss notes around. However, they do. Your own guard knocks on your door and awakens you, Lord Kergosler, and
I did.
the note is handed to you. You recognize it as a court document. Basically, it is a court document citing that the first day of discovery and the acquisition of information regarding the case that we passed over from prosecutor to defense will be today, and it will be hosted at your house.
Excellent. That's cool.
Okay.
And I'm ready.
All right. And then in the morning, just kind of going left to right, who's doing what?
Can Broxgar and I jump on the bike first thing in the morning to get over to the tower to
Sure.
get his fucking weapon? It's
Yep,
gonna be the fastest way to get there and back.
Okay. The clerk seems a bit confused. You do mention who you are. They take a moment and then they kind of go into the storage and bring out the parcel as you had it and set it out on the table.
It's yours there,
So
brother.
The axe is just laying there.
Inside of a parcel, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go grab it.
Okay.
Reach to grab it.
You hear a
They're
voice.
cool with me.
You hear a voice immediately. Oh. Hi.
I look around.
Hold on a second. I gotta figure out this cat yet.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I don't like this,
What
Joe.
is she doing?
I know.
All right, Joe.
No.
Talking to you. I gotta get mine to talk to me. So what's
Wait, does John have to go to the bathroom again?
No,
No,
No, I think it's cat drama.
So the cat
Yeah, I
that's
know.
having an
Booty.
existential crisis.
After smelling a dog fart.
Yes, it could drive you crazy.
It's been a bunch distracting session, man. Me and my butt, and my cat and my dog's butt, apparently. Jeez.
All the
A
butts.
lot of butts.
It's a lot of butts, man. That said, you head over, you have the parcel, you hear the voice, you look around, there isn't a source of the voice. It's in your head.
No.
Well, I say hello in my head.
Rockstar's going crazy.
Pleased to meet you. Name's Kelgar. Kelgar, orc slasher. Or dwarf slasher. My brain didn't do a thing.
Yeah. Dwarf orker.
I laugh in my brain.
He says, "So, want to know something interesting? It's gonna make you mad."
Nope.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you anyway. Look at that axe. Pull it out.
Yeah, I do so.
I mean, when you do, you see it is a fine-looking axe, but it does appear to have kind of a orcish kind of quality to it. It looks like a hatchet. It's kind of like a sickening kind of jagged edge that kind of flares out into spikes. I don't have it drawn out yet because I'm terrible. But looking at it, it does look like a dwarf and an orc came together to forge a single axe. But from everything that you know about its description, this is the blaze hatchet, the first axe of Durgan the Black. It's just strangely not as dwarven as you thought it would be. It's so strange. And he says, I made that.
Okay, if you made it, then it's not the blaze.
No, yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Your family killed my family and stole all our secrets. How does that make you feel? That your craftsmanship's mastery, it's all based on the foundation of dirty orcs. Don't you just hate it?
I did want to drop that.
Let's go throw these weapons into the sea, guys.
I'll put it back in the parcel.
Okay.
You can put it in the ocean.
The voice strangely kind of remains lingering, laughing for a little bit, as you finally kind
I
of
know.
put the parcel away.
Very mad. He made me mad.
It's doing its job. does,
Well,
it, does it make you
that's
as a
that.
player kind of go, oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Good.
Very interesting. Well, I'll be taking this now.
Of course, the clerk says.
right. Well, thank you, Rack, and thank you, Clerk.
Yep. You head back on out to the.
Before we got there, Vrack, on the ride there, or like in the morning, like Brox was ready to go. I was super excited. Like this is obviously like a family relic, something that like would be very important to me. And now I seem pretty disappointed, but it's just very noticeably visible difference in my demeanor in
I'm not
regards to
gonna
the
call
act.
it out. I'll note that. Don't want to talk about it. That's fine. Keep your bro feelings to yourself.
Yeah.
But I feel you.
It's not an orc axe, John.
It's the most wild. Anyway, back at home.
Also, would I have recognized that when he opened the parcel?
It definitely looks less dwarven than you would expect. Um, Let me try and explain what's in my head. So dwarvish like art styling, weaponry, fine craftsmanship usually kind of leads into a utilitarian styling for the weapon's purpose, with like a goal in mind and a very Art Deco kind of decorative sense. Straight lines, very just structured. Whereas an orc's weaponry is a bit more built for purpose, but built for purpose that isn't really thought of in most military minds, especially dwarves. If a dwarf is defending something, or a dwarf is using a weapon for a thing, that's what that thing's going to do. That's how that defense is going to work. Whereas an orc is going to build, in this tradition, orcs are going to build their weapons for function, but more for damage, more for absolute just utilitarian function, but with like a multivariate kind of purpose. So the axe in question, it looks like it can slash, but it looks like it could pierce as well, or it could be used to kind of pull, shields away, or it could be used to kind of do a lot of things that a simple bearded axe may not be able to do. It looks like it has a bit more of kind of a, if you're familiar with Star Trek, and then this is probably a bad way to go because most people don't think the batlip is like a weapon that functions very well, but it kind of has like an almost like batlip kind of styling to its bladed edge. Looks like there's a lot of prongs there, a lot of things you can do with that weapon outside of just slash a person with like an axe.
So I bet in this one particular instance, Freck could put 2 and 2 together pretty easy.
Yeah.
Riding back to Gilbert's.
All right.
Along the way, the laughing kind of picks up as you're kind of holding the parcel there in your basket, and you hear the voice say again, "If you ever want to know, I'll tell you all about it."
I don't want to hear any more of your lies.
And that's what you hear for the next 30 or so minutes as you're riding along, gripping the axe. Just okay. Ren, Valette hasn't made any contact with you since yesterday.
That's fine. If I don't think that there's anything particularly to worry about, I would head back to Gilbert's house in the morning.
Okay. And Gilbert, you have been instructed that you'll be hosting the trial, or the discovery portion of the trial at your own estate. Based on the court document, it looks like the trial has been set to begin processing. And it looks like it would probably take the better part of a month or two. They do try to fast track royal folks, so that's why you think it's going on pretty quickly. Normal murder cases might take quite a bit longer, but it seems that the prosecutor is very confident in their ability to kind of prove this individual is guilty with the number of witnesses they have listed on their on the court document.
All right. I think the first thing I'm gonna do when the case begins is just clarify that.
Well, we're not there yet.
You're not there yet.
Yeah, I'm basically you're doing that pre-planning stage right now in your head. They haven't arrived
Right.
yet. You do note though that anybody is allowed to attend from your own staff. So anybody that you would consider relevant to having in the discovery period, there will definitely be questioning, and Brockgar is required to be there.
All right. The heroes can be there. Right. Irrelevant. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sam, you wake up in your estate, or your house rather, corner house. Are you heading back to Lord Kurgazler's home, or are you staying where, or are you doing something else?
I am going to go back to Kurgazler's place, and I specifically want to basement, and I want to realign the portal to what I just sent you in the side chat.
Sure. Couple of questions. Do you stop by the ocean?
I had to throw.
I'm tempted, but
Okay.
no.
And then question number 2, or statement number 2. As you're heading that way, you know, bright sunny day. But when you look up into the sky and kind of look up, you see something that you figured would be there. There's a small black mote in the sky that lingers just near the sun. So, like, you know how you can see the moon in the day, and it kind of has like light gray color to it. Imagine if the moon were made out of like obsidian, and it was a little bit smaller, and it was kind of just floating off near where the sun's located. Not blocking it, just kind of up there near it.
Yeah.
5 days.
Yeah. I know. I'm actually keeping account in my note of what day it is currently.
Mm-hmm. It's the 26th.
Yep.
Okay. You head back to Kurgazler. You go downstairs. You key your situation. And are you going by yourself, or are you taking anyone with you?
I mean, who's around right now?
Everybody would be at the house by this point.
I just walk upstairs, say, "Alright, I'm going to go off and do something that might be stupid. Anyone that wants to come can," and then walk back down to the basement and step into the portal.
I ain't gonna be much use to this trial thing here, so
It's not
best
for a
we
while.
not get the wizard kill.
Yeah. We don't want him to die.
I'd go with him as well.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
I'll take care of the house. Don't worry.
Oh, that's right. You can't go with us.
Brock's can't come.
He's got the ankle bracelet.
Gilbert.
But you're aren't you his counsel, Gilbert?
Yeah, should
No, I
you
don't have to stay there.
Yeah.
Legally, I don't have to stay there.
Legally, you don't.
Bureaucratic bullshit.
Legally, you have to be there for the discovery in a couple hours.
You?
Oh, okay. In that
You're
case,
his
if the
counsel.
discovery's happening, then I will stay back. Don't die, guys.
Yeah. We don't know how long this stupid thing is gonna take.
Okay.
Sam does.
So Ren, Brack, and Sam are heading downstairs to pop into a portal. Okay.
Woohoo!
He keys it. He doesn't tell you where you're going. I don't think anybody asked, right?
Nope. We know what to expect from Sam now.
You step through
Roller
the
It's not
coaster.
gonna change anything.
Drop in, Vrac.
You step through the portal. You feel your body kind of discombobulate in the arcane energy, and once the arcane energy frees you from it, the temperature becomes kind of like, you know, it's cold in the basement, kind of just like stale cold like a basement would be. But once you pop through the portal, once you're done with that arcane discombobulation, the air feels just perfect. Like a nice 70, 72 degrees. There's a bit of humidity in the air. It's kind of, you know, slightly noticeable. And you're standing on a brightly colored magic circle that seems to have been carved in stone, which has been set on a wooden platform. There's loose bits of kind of straw mats that have kind of been broken up around it, like it was once covered by these straw mats. But you are in a chamber that looks like there is a series of stairs that go up and kind of snake up to a higher balcony directly above you. To the right, there seems to be a portalway that leads into a hallway, you presume. And to the left, there is a door that looks like it's closed shut. And then directly in front of you, directly behind you, rather, is just a wall with the stairs above you that lead up to the high balcony. But directly in front of you are two massive portalways that open out to the open air. You can see bright blue sky and clouds, like almost as if they were parallel with your current look and posture. It looks like you're in the clouds.
So, welcome to the White Tiger Castle.
Have you been here before?
No. But interesting little history here. This is where Byako Sanchasabuta was hiding. I don't know how to pronounce these things. I'm just looking at it, John.
It's okay.
Anyway, says that he may have committed seppuku here to defeat his sin. Thought it might be interesting for us to take a look at with the current state of some of our friends.
Okay.
You want me to go grab Gilbert and we can eviscerate him here?
Make him do it himself.
As much as I'd enjoy seeing that, I feel like, honestly, we might need him for Broxgar right now.
You see Byako Seichan Subeda appear. All of you see him
Thank
appear
you.
kind of near Ren and kind of start walking away from you all towards the steps. And he starts walking up the steps up to the high balcony. Doesn't seem to be cared or concerned, but effectively just kind of ghostly materializes mid-walking stride and starts walking up the steps.
I say we follow him.
Yeah.
You got it, brother.
He goes up the winding steps, 2 flights, to the balcony up above. On the balcony, it's kind of set directly above the 2 large doors to the, you presume, front of this keep, this castle. There's a door right at the top of the steps and a door across from him at the other side. He moves towards the door at the top of the stairs and walks through it, not bound by the physical properties of a door. He moves through it with no problem.
Can we try to open the door?
Okay, the door is locked.
Can
Look at
we
Red.
try to? Yeah, I mean, I could try to unlock that.
Yeah, make a thieves' tools check.
Oh, good. 20.
You move to the lock and you can see that it seems to be of a different make. Certainly not something that's done a lot in the Rastagari kingdom, specifically just Parnek as a whole. It seems to be a Sayryujin lock that you're looking at here. Quite a bit different. Doesn't use the same tumbler system. It kind of uses an internal mechanism, which is a bit more advanced than typical lock that you'd find in Rastagar City. But you're able to kind of finagle your way with your tools, use them in a little bit of a different way than you normally would, instead of applying pressure, kind of utilizing different bits to kind of pull it open. And eventually the door unlocks and you open the door. You enter into a 15 by 15 room. There's a door on the north side of it. You're entering from the west side of it. And directly across from the door is a small desk, low to the ground, with a rotted pillow out in front of it. It looks like there are pieces of parchment, very fine-looking calligraphy tools that looks like the ink has dried over time, and a brush that's kind of sitting in the middle. As you kind of move closer to it to inspect it, what you notice is that the ink looks like it's been mixed with something. It doesn't look like solid, like kind of even keel, kind of black color or sepia color that ink would have. It looks like it has kind of a darker tone, more on the red color spectrum, and you'd note that the same color seems to kind of persist inside of the quill, the hairs of the brush. The documents or the papers that are on the desk, they appear to be just blank pieces of paper. Nothing.
Wait,
on them.
Sorry, I missed that. There's hairs on this brush.
So it's like a brush, and the brush has hairs. Like a horsehair brush would have,
Gotcha.
yeah. And the brush's head, effectively, seems to be kind of coated with the same ink that is in the inkwell. The inkwell's ink doesn't appear to be just straight, like black or like squid ink, as you'd expect regular ink to be. It seems to have kind of like a reddish, kind of like a ruddy color to it.
And there's just blank papers on the table.
Correct.
Do we want to just see if maybe there's like I'm trying to think of like you write the impression on it and basically like it creates
a rub it.
Yeah.
Gain inspiration.
Yeah, so you could put another piece. Lovely.
Gain inspiration for that, Sam.
Woohoo.
And you go ahead and if you have like charcoal or something like that, you take the piece of paper and kind of just perform a rubbing on the top piece of paper, and what you find out is that it looks like someone was doing practice runs with the brush. It doesn't leave much of an indentation, but what you're seeing here look to be very high stylized calligraphy characters of the Ryujin language known as Shinis. Basically very artistic looking characters, similar to real world kanji from the Japanese language.
I'm assuming none of us can speak that, right?
I don't think anybody here
No.
Yeah, they don't have.
Right. So if you guys want to explore a little bit more, I'm going to take 10 minutes.
Okay. There is a door opposite here, and it doesn't look like Byako's ghost has remained in this store or this room.
I'll gesture to Ren towards the door.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna check the door.
Okay. It's not locked. It's not trapped.
Okay. So let's open it.
Inside, you see that there is a small kind of table. It looks like there's kind of dried blood all over the table. Behind the table is a statue. The statue appears to be of a rampant white tiger, kind of encircling what appears to be a clawed hand raising up out of the floor. The claw looks very familiar to everyone present, except for Brack, I think. It looks like Musame's claw, kind of rising up from the ground there, encircled by this big white tiger statue. There does appear to be paint on it, like they painted the tiger to be white and black over stone, but a lot of it's chipped away, and kind of chips of like dried paint are kind of at the foot of the statue. But like I said, the table out in front of it appears to be covered with blood. There's a spot in the blood stains on it. It looks like there was something parchment size that was removed. And the blood, of course, is dried and very old. As you enter
Sean?
in... Sorry, what's up?
I'm looking. I don't think that the skill tricks are listed anymore in
Yeah, they're
the.
not.
And it's not in my copy of advanced ability checks. But if I remember correctly, isn't there one for forensics under investigation?
Yeah.
May I try to do
and
whatever it says?
You should probably go to DM's Guild and download the new copy, because you can do so for
Okay.
free, and it should have the updated information. But let me see here. Investigation. For those of you watching at home, he's referencing advanced ability checks, which is a thing on the DM's Guild. Forensics. You can discern the cause of death of any corpse you examine.
Okay, so not just blood.
Not just blood.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Okay. So, it does, from what you're looking at here, it does look similar to everything you kind of know about Seishan Subeta's end. And you can see that he's kind of standing over the table looking down at it. standing in between the table and the statue.
Okay. Does it look like he acknowledges our presence?
Looks like he's kind of focused, trained in thought. Thayer kind of appears behind you, Frack, and says, "This is something I don't want to encounter. This is not something I wish to do. He's going through so much."
You are welcome to stay behind there, lady brother.
No, she says, he died here. This is where he died. I can't begin to imagine what he must be going through. I don't know if I could go back to the places I dwelled in when I was alive. The times that we did it before, it was so recent, so soon after, but it feels like so much time has passed beyond. Yaku kind of raises his head and says, "It's not as bad as you think." Looks over to Ren. "You've made your choice. You've already afforded some effort in selecting what you felt to be a good cause over a bad one. As it was for me, so it is for you. Choice is difficult, is it not?"
Yes, it seems like no matter what option, someone will be betrayed.
Your folly isn't immediately recognizing it as an enemy.
Can you say those words again, John? My
Your-
folly.
Isn't immediately recognizing it as an enemy. I know that she's been through here as well. You hold my honor. Looks over to Brack. And you hold my glory. But she holds my love.
So do I get the sense that he is referring to the one that Gilbert killed?
No.
Okay.
From the sounds of it, he's referring to the one who had the dagger. So there was a third weapon in his set, and the last one was a small Aiguchi, which, when it was seen by Brack, grew to an extraordinary size and impaled him.
Got it. And we don't know where that is at this point.
But he just said she's been through here.
Mm-hmm.
I assume she took the dagger off of the tree at the base. Interesting that she was able to find it there. I guess it was more fated for her to have the weapon that she had than it was for you to have yours. And then looks to Brack for you to have yours. Maybe we're on the wrong side of this. Sarah shakes her head. I don't think so. And as she kind of mutters that, they both kind of fade away. Comprehend languages. It appears to be a very formalized haiku, a final poem that was written by one Byako Seishun Subeta. I'll send that over to you eventually once I pen it, but basically it just refers to the gravity of choosing not to side with anyone and instead take yourself out of the equation.
Okay, interesting.
Is that the only one that has, like, the only piece of paper that has that imprinting
Yeah.
in it?
From what you can tell, it looks like the copy that you might have kind of seen was kind of like a practice, right? Like they were attempting to kind of get it to a high formalized styling so that when they wrote it on the final document, it was perfect.
And I'm guessing the final document is somewhere not.
Well, if you kind of investigate the room that they just looked in, it looks like it was on the table where his weapons would have been placed during the ritual of the ritualistic suicide, and it looked like it was removed after blood had been splashed upon it.
All right, I'm going to hold on to the copy that I have currently.
Okay.
So, learn anything interesting?
I'm coming away more confused than. And Ren would look at Vrak.
Not sure, but seems like there's someone who's been here recently at the very least, right?
Yeah.
Dagger.
It's the third part of this set. One part I hold, one part Vrak holds.
Huh. So where's the third part?
Dunno. But his spirit brother said that she'd been here recently.
She? What's she?
The one who holds the dagger part of the set. Can your magics track such a thing?
I mean, I don't think I have anything currently I could use to track any of that. No.
John, would I be able to see any signs of a third party coming through?
So you can make an investigation check to see if you can try and denote, like, if there's been a person through here, and how they moved about. You can also try a survival check to see if you can track them specifically.
Yeah, I'd much rather try investigation.
John, also, this, Byako, were they like a caster of some sort, i.e. would there possibly be any scrolls or something around here that I could find?
They certainly weren't.
Okay, just kind of. In that case...
I got it. 32.
I'm going to say this now just in case I forget it later, but when we get back to Raskar, I do want to look for a very specific spell scroll.
Okay. Searching around, it does look like one individual has been in here. It looks like when that person was here, they were the ones who removed the haiku from the table. The final poem. It looks like they entered through this room through the same means that you did. It looks like they probably came in through the same way that you came in, except that they probably didn't enter into the main chamber through the portal. And beyond that, you're not able to track them beyond that because you went investigation. But you are able to tell that it was them that took the final poem off of the table.
Based off that lead, can I use my survival check to follow that?
You'll have advantage.
All right. Nice.
Way to piggyback.
It's 20.
You're able to tell that the individual came into this specific place through a passageway that leads, when you go downstairs back to the main room where the portal is located, the portal sigil. If you look to the door that was closed on the side, opening up that leads into a dining room, and it's in disrepair. And there's another door that leads outside on the side of the building that you're in. The building that you're in is, once you get to that point, you realize is actually set against the cliff face. Like, it's built out of the cliff face, and there's a series of steps that lead down to another such building that's been kind of chiseled out of the cliff face. If you're familiar with Petra and like the environment around that location, it's very similar to that. But what you're also noticing is that you're hundreds of feet on a cliff face, and just directly beneath you, it looks like there's just a massive forest. It appears that she came up through a series of staircases that lead down into the forest.
Should we go down?
And your survival check was good enough for you to know that this happened a month or so ago.
I'm not gonna catch her.
Right, we're not going to catch her.
Like, I don't know. I
Well,
don't know how long we want to commit to this area.
Yep.
You kind of know where she is. She was with Slayer and
Right.
yeah, back at the castle. So
No, we know she wasn't just here.
yeah, but the
Right.
time, the corresponding time kind of clicks with when the Pyramid of Souls was opened.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Anything else? Any other stupid ideas over there, Sam?
Not currently, no. I do want to find something, though, that I'm not going to find around here. But it might not, but it might help with finding where the third part of the set is. I'm not sure.
Okay. You're heading back?
Yeah, maybe we
Seems
should
that
get
way.
back before Gilbert gets Brox into too much trouble.
And before we get into too much trouble ourselves.
Yeah.
During their time off ram gallivanting and doing fun stuff, Gilbert, you're kind of preparing yourself. You can see that the docket of witnesses that they have kind of alludes to a certain designation. What did you get on your history check for that law bit a while ago?
Didn't I roll 16?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so you now have a artifact that signifies that Blaze Hatchet is the king of the Blaze Hatchet clan. You also have the lineage that proves that as well. So you can quantify
Yeah,
him.
I say, Brax, this looks strangely orcish.
He kills Gilbert with it.
What?
Right into my head.
What are
I
you
don't know,
talking?
maybe you're not looking at it close enough.
No,
What's in
but
between his eyes?
hold on. Apologies. Real talk. Real thing. Make a wisdom saving throw, Joe.
Oh boy, he's gonna kill me.
I got another.
So have you ever seen the movie True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Remember when he's riding
Such a good
along
movie.
with that douchebag who's like talking about like all the stuff he wanted to do to Jamie Lee Curtis, and then he has that moment where you
I let
see
him go.
Arnold like blast him in the face and like break his nose and like kill him, but then it's just like a daydream.
Yeah.
So
Such a good movie.
describe how the daydream of you butchering Gilbert right now would go.
Well, I'd probably impale him with one of the spiky bits and then raise him up and throw him over my shoulder like a little.
Ooh,
Ouch.
You have that vision, and immediately when you snap out of it and kind of look at Gilbert, you hear.
All right, so yeah, I'll have the papers about from Rasikant too, or at least Broxcar's holding them, and the axe, which is good. So good.
Alright, so you think we could make a good case? It was
Oh,
justice.
Well,
Oh yeah, definitely. The case is solid. I mean, I'm even gonna say that if they think it was, well, actually, I'm not gonna say it that way. I'm just gonna say that I would like to question the person who was killed because we can question him and do maybe like a zone of truth. Actually, if we question him and he's dead, we'll get the answers we want, which is basically that he attacked your family, right? So you were basically just meting out justice. So I think you're good. I think we're solid here.
well, what I was going to say is with that 16, what you would be able to denote is that the axe was on the body of the person who was killed, and stealing an artifact of importance from royalty does have a judgment call of death. So,
There you go.
all right,
So there's that too.
you might
Sounds well done.
you might be able to get the case thrown out in discovery.
Oh, that would be so awesome. A month-long case is not going to be fun on Dungeons and Dragons. I can tell you that much.
But at what price?
But at what price?
But at what price?
Oh, come on. That sounds amazing. I'd love a month-long
don't-
D&D discovery session.
Yeah, or like maybe if they could like charge up our espers, like this one goes to 11, that sort of thing.
I don't know.
That would
You're
be
really
kinda
obsessed
cool.
with this charging up your Esper stuff.
Hell yeah, why not?
I don't know
He
if
wants to be powerful, John.
I don't know what that
He
Players
doesn't
gotta
care about
play.
us. He just wants power.
I
Anywho,
want you guys
Becoming-
to be there as my heroes,
He's becoming a min-maxer.
the others
Yeah.
return.
for sure. Mine isn't even working right now, so I need to get like
No, it,
Viagra for
it-
D&D or something.
it works just fine. It works just like it did before. As I showed it operating in that handout. So I mean, it's not changed. It's just that the Esper is not jumping out of the weapon like she was initially.
Right. I need to be more evil is what the thing is. I found out. He doesn't love me unless I'm evil. So
Who said evil? Just bully yourself. That's all I'm asking.
yeah, that's true. I think I'm that now, anyways. Maybe she'll see that and just be like,
You're getting there.
fall in love with me all again.
You're getting there.
Fall in
So
love
the,
with me all over again.
the others return. Do you have intents of going back into the portal and skipping to somewhere else, or are you going to stick around for the discovery portion of the trial?
I mean, I'd want to stick around and watch.
Okay. Frack and
I don't
Sam.
give a shit. Either on Sam.
I want to go and see if I can find a legend lore.
Okay. Who are you going to try and find it from? You would know that the shark, or the idealists rather, probably don't have access to that spell.
So I'm going to be somewhat clever and go to the librarianish people of this area.
Bookworms?
I'm going to try the bookworms. Because honestly, if someone's going to have something to figure out legendary stuff, it might be them. And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to try the Kenku, because
Okay,
they owe me anyway.
Okay, go ahead and make a d20 roll for me regarding bookworms. Just a d20 roll. I don't need a modifier or anything.
9.
Okay. They do not have access to the spell Legend Lore in a means that is readily available. It seems that the only individual that they have that has access to the spell is... Double checking my information here, just making sure. The only person that they have that can cast it is a cleric. So they can't really draft you a scroll that'll work for you.
Alright, I might try the Kengu then, see if they've got...
Okay. What you'll find very quickly in the time that it takes you to get there to there and the conversation you have with the leadership of the Kengo is they don't have any spellcasters except the ones that are innately gifted with the powers of magic. It seems that it's more, it's less something that is studied and more something that is sharpened when an ability is had already.
Dang it. All right, I'm trying to think. Are there any specific gangs that I know that deal more with
Well, the
the magical
conglomerate would
side? besides-
probably have some connections to magic.
Yeah.
Go get you somebody.
Gosh.
The Night Sharks might be able to pull something off, and then regarding the other gangs, right now it's kind of a hodgepodge mess.
Yeah, the Night Sharks was going to be my last ditch effort. Oh, I'm going to go and find Hadrian, see if he's
Okay.
interested.
Sure. What you find out when you get to Tavern Lane and head into the Red Dragon is that they state that Hadrian and his brother are not in. They are currently dealing with matters to the west.
Well, is there someone else that was left in charge that I could ask if they might be able to acquire?
The barkeep says I can try to help you, and then when you ask that question, roll a d20.
I hope this one's better than the last one. Nope, that's a 3.
Yeah, no, that might
Guessing
be
I'm sunk.
that's something Hadrian might be able to come up with, but he's really busy right now. The Wild Ones have been absolutely butchered on their west side by the Mist family, and he's dealing with that.
And there's no other real way for me to get a hold of that, dang it. Alright. It's a long shot that'll be useful anyway.
The only way you can think of is through the conglomerate.
No,
Yeah,
Gilbert could cast it, but I don't know if he would ask Gilbert.
Nope.
Then there you go. But I didn't know if you would even know that I could, but yeah, I can.
Yeah, I mean, like, I have no idea how the conglomerate's tagging scrolls or anything like that, or if I transfer that to my book, if it'll screw me up by putting a tag on me.
Well, yeah, I mean, just to be able to even get access to such scrolls, you'd need to be a licensed mage. You're not technically one yet.
Alright, I'm going to see if I can find Valette then.
Okay. We'll go ahead and set that off to the side for next time. Let me go ahead and see if I can work through anybody else. Oh, let's do the trial bit. The lawyer that seems to be in charge of the prosecutorial side when they enter in is lady. She appears to be half elvish, blonde hair. The crest that she wears upon her shoulders is a white field with a green cross over it. And she appears to be very formal and traveling with a couple of lemon caps who have led her to this estate. Some of the lemon caps, Broxgar, you recognize, specifically the one that stood over you and brought the spire's lightning down into you. And she looks to Lord Eversole upon entering into his house and says, "My Lord Eversole, what am I saying? Lord Kurgosler, and says, my lord, I am the leader and attorney for the prosecution. As I understand it, this individual, Broxgar Blaze Hatchet, who claims to be royalty, has performed an act of murder on the grounds of the king. A crime most high. That said, please tell me what your initial defense will be so that I have an understanding as to whether or not the prosecution wishes to pursue this case to its extent."
Oh yes. Welcome to my manor. Please make yourself at home, and I think this is all just a misunderstanding. And what our defense will be, and as you will see and understand, is that my friend Broxgar Blaze Hatchet is, in reality, King Broxgar Blaze Hatchet. And we have the papers of lineage and the artifact to prove it. And if that isn't going to be enough to get this little business thrown out, we would also call the, using Speak with Dead, call the person who was justly killed, and that would be our defense. Actually, is well, not only that he is a king and we can prove it, but that he was meting out justice because this person who was killed had stole his family artifact and had, therefore met with his justice, and this was his justice. So, I think
Documents.
Be,
She says,
Sure.
interrupting you. Documents, please. Let me see
Sure,
the lineage
sure.
papers. And who
Sure.
officiated these papers?
That be myself.
Rastikin
That's-
Keela,
Oh,
the
right.
former advisor of good King Emfred, rest his soul.
She takes the paper and looks at it. It is indeed Ramsek and Keela. This is very high documentation indeed. Well to be trusted. Is this your only copy?
Mine. I believe there's one as well with Rastikin, but
He has not been heard from in a few 6 days. So, if you do not mind, I need an opportunity with this paper. She says that she pulls a single parchment out from her own bag, sets it down onto a table next to your document, and starts casting a ritual spell.
Is she just copying it?
As you watch the ritual spell complete, you see all of the words from one page go to the other, and now they appear to be perfect identical copies of one another. She takes yours and hands it back to you.
thank you.
Of course. And the artifact in question, display it, please.
Hold it, or I'll pull it out. It's still in the park.
Okay. She unwraps it with her own hands. It's not malignant or anything. If I touch it, it'll not cause me any bane or anything to that effect. Is that accurate?
Oh no, you're fine. Just watch out for the jagged edge.
I need a bit more time for preparation here. She pulls out another piece of paper, sets it down on top of the weapon. You can see that it has a bunch of draconic words on it, and she begins casting another spell through ritual means. The letters move off of the piece of paper.
Steal that scroll for me! Steal that scroll for me!
And she casts.
I'll start rambling. As she's doing her thing, I'll start rambling about how it's that is the blaze hatchet, the first axe, Durgan in the Black ever full.
She seems to be paying attention to you, and also still focusing on the ritual at hand. She seems to have a very strange quality about her, where she's giving you her full attention, but she seems to be doing something else at the same time. It's weird, but it seems fine.
That's talent right there.
Seems to be very yeah, you feel like she's listening to every word you're saying, but at the same time she's babbling off to the side, speaking in draconic tongue. She casts the spell. You see the scroll become a blank piece of vellum, and then she kind of spends a few moments with her eyes kind of rolled into the back of her, rolled back, kind of just jittering for a second, and then she kind of looks to you. This is indeed the blaze hatchet, crafted by the demi-blood Durgan the Black. You pause for a second. The term that she used has never been used in any historical documents to refer to Durgan the Black. She called him a demi-blood.
Yeah, what's that?
You would know would be an old term for half-orc.
Crazy.
This seems to be in order. And you said the individual in question that was put to justice was in possession of this artifact?
He murdered my kin and pillaged my homeland. Stole that artifact from.
She turns and looks to the lemon cap who was standing over you at this, with the spire magic and says to him, "You, Joseph, guard Alpha. You are the one who holds the doors of the manor house. Is this not incorrect? Or is this not correct?" He says, "My lady, it is correct." So then, with unerring accuracy, you will tell me what you saw that day. Of course. During my watch, I was spoken to directly by these individuals present. Looks to Brack, looks to Brox. They attempted to gain my attention I did not grant it to them, as it is not my allowance to do so when the doors are closed. The half-orc individual then threw a strange stone down to the ground, summoning forth a large owl. The dwarf and the half-orc leapt upon the large owl and attempted to fly over the gate. After that one, looks to Gilbert, attempted to teleport through the gate magic to the other side of the gates while they were closed. An impossible thing to do, as you may well know. I called down the lightning from the spire. It destroyed the owl, causing these two individuals to fall on the inside of the gate. I told them to halt. The dwarf resisted. The half-orc did not. I then called down the spire magic upon the dwarf, who continued to resist. And he fired the shot at the individual who has been come to be identified as Jacob. No surname. The shot was a true shot made by the dwarf, one of the most accurate shots I've seen in my time. It hit him in the head, causing his helmet to fall off and his skull to be broken apart, his brains to be splattered about the grounds. It was seen a woman in multicolors who has yet to be identified recovered an item off the back of the dead corpse, the victim, and moved into the crowds. The item in question resembles the item present on the table, milady. So, this is going to be a quick one for you, Gergosler. Unfortunately, a win on your end. Seems to be more than misunderstanding. The Dwarf King simply wished to recover what was rightfully his. Unfortunately, that put him onto the king's grounds when he did it. He did not ask the permission of the king to do it at that time. Unfortunately, the crime itself is not an actionable one, and not one we can hold him in detainment for. However, for the act of performing such a action without the express permission of the king, as a member of royalty yourself, you are fined the amount of 800,000 gold to be payable to the King of Rostagar by the end of the month.
Jeez, Joe.
I object. That fine is excessive, and I know this from my history. Could I actually do some sort of a check to see if I would know that that's really excessive or not?
Make an intelligence history check.
Oh shit, guys! I wish I had that inspiration. Intelligence history. Because when it comes to money, I don't want to pay any more than I have to. I did not do all that great. 13 for the people at home.
Doesn't
I thought
sound
that was with advantage.
Doesn't sound excessive for the purposes of royal crimes versus royals. If a royal exacts a royal crime, they are kind of held to a higher standard. So if you were to have done this, Lord Kergosler, you would be held to the noble standard. So the fine might be 80,000. But because it's presumed that the king has a kingly estate behind him, which we all on our side of the table know that he does not have that.
Right, he's poor.
He has a claimancy to it, but he has to go find it.
Can we contest this?
A settlement can be broached, of course, if the amount in question cannot be attained.
So we're gonna have to do a settlement. All right, but that's. I guess what I would just say, I said that I thought it was excessive and everything, and then I'll just say, all right, we'll put in some papers with the crown.
Well, of course, the stated request would be that the amount in full would be paid by the end of the month, but as I'm sure you're aware, that's in 5 days.
Yes.
Matt, 5 days.
Yep.
As the Adar Shinai will be added to the month, as is the accordance of that day. However, extensions can be brought forward through methods throughout the court, I'm sure you can hire a clerk or perform as clerk yourself in an attempt to do that. But we can obtain a settlement at this point if you prefer.
I think that's. I hate to speak for you, Brox, but I think that might be necessary. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, what sort of?
Well, unfortunately, this wouldn't be an action that would be taken by the royal party in question. However, the legal counsel who has been opted to defend him, as you are the one who's defending him, you could relinquish your estate to the crown in full, leave these premises, and allow the king whatever purpose he wants for these estates, and at which time you are able to pay the fines in full. The house would be returned to you.
Yeah, we'll work on something. I know there's another settlement that can be made. We'll work on payment plan or something.
Of course.
But I thank you for your time and your good
make-
judgment.
Make an insight check real quick.
Insight check. Like, she doesn't want to be thanked. Man, who doesn't want to be thanked? Come on, what's wrong with your people here? Insight. 19, yes.
So you're familiar with the tactic that she just tried to employ, and it's not illegal, and it's not terribly unforeseen. But because you're a landed lord, and this individual lord, she does appear to be nobility based on the sigil or the crest that she has on her attire. She may not be a landed lord. It could be the case that if she were to prosecute you and allot for the settlement, her reward for having done that for the king would have been your house. So you're pretty sure that the settlement was basically she's willing to affordably remove the amount that the crown of the dwarfs owes, so long as you're willing to seize your power in the city.
Yeah, that's good that she thought of that, but not gonna happen. Are you kidding me?
You hear this voice in the back of your head. Of course, why would you give it away?
Yeah, why would I give it away?
It's yours.
Sheesh. Now I'm gonna be known as a famous lawyer, and like, you know.
Oh, you haven't won this case, nor have you finalized it. There's no settlement.
I'm going to.
You're literally
going to win it.
So your next steps are going to be putting in for extensions on the amount due, or putting in appeals on the current punishment that's been set, the fine that's been set towards the king of the Blaze Actions.
Right. Yes, I will definitely be doing that.
All right. Okay, so done with that. Brack, is there anything that you wanted to do? You probably got really bored of that shit.
I'm barely awake in the corner of a room somewhere.
Fair enough. As you are kind of drifting off, you keep having this kind of like daydream as you kind of flash through it of the woman in the bright clothes kind of walking into that room you were in before, reaching down and prying the paper off of the table and kind of reading it and grinning and walking out. It's a weird daydream that you keep having every time your eyes flutter closed.
But it is a daydream, right?
Yeah. It feels kind of like that weird quasi-real state, like where you're kind of having like this weird vision of something else. You're thinking about something else entirely while this boring nonsense is happening in front of you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Bren, you'd notice that Brack is unconscious or slipping in and out of consciousness, and you're there for the discussion regarding the discovery changing to kind of a termination of the case.
Mm-hmm. Does it like ill unconsciousness or just falling asleep unconscious?
He just looks bored. It's
Okay.
like you can't. You're a teacher. You probably have a lot of students who don't keep their heads up or just leave recording devices.
It happens.
Yeah,
Happens.
that's Brack right now. All right. If nobody has anything else,
Real quickly,
Matt.
I forgot I had inspiration. Would that have been applicable to either of my two roles?
Gotta backtrack a bit. were you rolling for before? Oh no, that
It
would
was
no.
to
You,
see if Fletcher Lore was there.
those were random rolls. They weren't for. It wasn't a skill check or anything.
Okay, I figured I'd ask just in
No
case.
worries. No worries.
Cool.
But yeah, you head off to go and speak to Valette, and that'll be where we start the next session, I guess. Yeah, so this is day 5. Just for people watching at home, just so if there is anybody, or if you are backlogging this, or just you guys, just for your information. So the next session that we run will not be the 13th. It will be on the 20th, if everyone's okay with the 20th. On the 13th, I will be running the wedding game, which chronologically to this game will be taking place in the future in 5 days. So that's for my patrons only. So if you're interested in watching that as it goes down, great. I believe 4 of the players that are in that game are players in this game, so good on them. And they'll be introducing new nobility and royalty and interesting characters to the game. But the wedding will kind of have repercussions that should affect your next session. So the wedding of the bear will be the next game run, and then the session after that will be World's Eclipse.
When is the okay, yeah, never mind.
Next Friday. Any questions?
Chronologically in character.
It'll be 5 days from now. It'll be 5 days in the future.
So after the next session, I owe 800,000 gold.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna get you out of that.
Dude, you have to shovel a lot of driveways.
We're gonna sell plasma. The heroes of Kurgosso are gonna sell their plasma for like the rest of their lives.
Yeah, so Gilbert's going to sell his plasma a lot.
Yeah, no, because I'm so small. Like I only do half as much. So you guys have to do more.
Nope.
I don't think it's
Come
gonna
on,
work.
Sam.
Anyways, if there's no other questions, direct alignment to that those matters at hand, I'm gonna go ahead and kill the stream. Thanks for watching.